And we're live.
Hello, everybody.
Hi, everyone. I am so sorry that we're late. We
We're
had,
late as usual.
yeah, late as usual, fashionably late. I am sorry, but things happen sometimes, and it did tonight. So again, I apologize, and hello, everyone. Happy Tuesday. I
Happy
hope
Tuesday.
I hope you all had a great Labor Day weekend.
Why
And
are y'all assuming that it's because I was asleep? Now, that's just
no,
unfair.
no, Wendy was
I
not
don't care
asleep.
how many precedents have been set. That's just unfair to
No,
assume that.
no, I can tell you as a fact that Wendy was not asleep.
It was not my fault this time.
It's not her fault. Okay.
Probably next time, though, just so, to be fair. Yes, and we have Simple Eyes up with us tonight. Simple Eyes is
Yes,
going to help us talk about our topic, our very important topic.
yes.
Um,
We're going to be talking about, as you can see, narcissists and do you know one? How do you deal with one? And a lot of other things. Oh, and Makeup Mobster is going to be coming up a little bit later because, as you all know Makeup Mobster. She did a whole series on when evil enters your life, and she has a lot to share as well. So this is a topic that we've wanted to do for a while, but we just never have. And I need to point out, it's not about anyone on YouTube. Let's
yes.
just get that straight right
It's
now.
not this is not directed at any particular person. I know that people are going to think that. Please don't. This is not directed at any particular person. I've wanted to talk about this topic for a long time, for personal reasons. Personal reasons. I have stories of my own in my real life that have nothing to do with YouTube at all. Hey, Tubakine, how are you, beautiful? Hey, Air. Hi, guys. I see you all. Hey, Grandpa
Oh
Jay.
yeah. Hi
C.
everyone.
Marie. No, C. Marie, it is not about you. I don't have not identified you as a narcissist. It's not about you. Only a narc would think it's about them. Yes, I told Diane to name the stream. You probably think the stream is about you.
Yeah, well, you know
She
what?
didn't,
I did
and
put that on my. I didn't. I didn't.
she didn't, and that's fine. We shouldn't be laughing about it. It's actually a really serious topic anyway, so I get that. But this isn't directed at any particular person on YouTube. It really isn't. But I thought that it was important for us to be able to, we throw the word narc around, narcissist. We throw that word around all the time. People are being identified as narcissist all the time. Even people that just have self-confidence. Oh, they're a narcissist. Wait a minute. Like, hang on, because what people need to understand is when you call somebody a narcissist. Oh my gosh, yeah, but just texted me and that scared me. I jumped out of my seat. When you call someone a narcissist, there's a lot of information that goes with that, and that's what we wanted to share with you guys. We wanted you guys to see what exactly that means. When you say the word narcissist, what does that mean? What does that look like? And what do you do with one if you find one in your life? What can you do? And then the third part is, how do you recover from narc abuse, and how do you break that trauma bond? So we're going to talk about all kinds of lots of different vocabulary words. We're going to talk about all of those. This is probably sugar. I'm narcoleptic. Try to stay awake, hon. um, take notes if you want. I mean, this isn't going to be like, I don't know. I'm sure there's professional seminars that you could go to that would be way better. But I still think it's important information. We're going to do the best we can to get it out to you. And it might not all be done tonight. We might split this up into like a small series, because I just think it's important. I think it's important information. So,
Ash.
hey,
Okay.
Ash.
Also, I before we even get started with this, I need to address a few things that I think is important. Um, Things that transpired over the weekend while I was away, and I probably don't even need to address it, but I'm going to. All right. So the first thing I want to address is Ainsley. She came to me in DMs, and we had a really long talk. And I feel like Ainsley, owned her shit with that whole private group and the private chat and the part that she played in it. And we even said that to her. We said it on
We did. Yeah.
on our panel that
Yes.
she did. But it seems that she's getting, she's very, very uncomfortable. and she's had some problems with having to shut down her Facebook Messenger and things like that. It's too real for her. And here's the thing about it. She's a sub. She doesn't have a platform. And I know what it feels like. I know what it feels like to have someone come at me for a pizza for 2.5 years. And this is something a lot more serious. And this is not something that she wants to be attached to. So I told her that I would edit out of my live stream where we showed the screenshots with her information in it. Now, it's on 2 other streams. It's on 2 other people's live streams that showed the screenshots, talked about it. Now, I'm going to remove it. That's up to them if they want to remove it. I would think that they would want to remove it because it's causing her problems, and I don't want to cause her any more problems than she's going through. I think it's time to move past it, forget about it. I get that people were disturbed by the content of that group chat, but I think we need to move past it and forget about it and leave her alone. And that's what I'm saying on that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. There's really, I mean, what else can be really said about it? She knows that it was vile. I think she is sorry that she did it. I feel like that was genuine. I felt it was genuine that night. I felt it was genuine when she apologized. And I said that. And what else do we want? And I said that too. Like, what else is it that we're looking for here? What else do we want? I think, it's not, they didn't owe us an apology. They didn't do anything to us. I think the important lesson was, that you're going to stop doing this kind of stuff because it is dangerous. And and there are, real life consequences that happen. And so please don't do that. Like, please don't be part of something like that again. And it seems to me that she is never going to do something like that again. And that's what the vibe that I've gotten from the others as well. So, other than that, what else can we ask? There's nothing else we can ask for, and
she did come to me, she did come to me in DMs. And at first I was like, she wanted me to take the stream down, and it was, kind of crazy. But I did hear that someone wanted, expected Wendy and I to apologize to them. That there is going to be no apology from me. What we brought forth was the information. And after that, I'm out of it. This is not my thing. Don't do that stuff in private chats, and you won't ever have to worry about it. So there's not going to be an apology from me. I didn't do anything that warrants me apologizing. We never asked you to apologize to Wendy or I. We asked for an apology, or can you apologize to the person you did it to? That's all. So
yeah, that's it. And I feel like she did that.
Yeah. So we're done with that. We're going to move on from that whole situation. I think, like I said, Ainsley needs to be left alone. Just leave her alone. She doesn't want any part of this anymore. Okay. So another quick thing on Laura. Laura, I have one message for you. Please don't threaten someone from the drama community, OG from the drama community, that is loved everywhere in the drama community, all corners of the drama community. She's a sweet lady. She said something that was rude to you, and you said, I got your picture, and I can find out where you are. There you go again with the doxing stuff, or trying to make someone think that you can find them. She said, what did she say? She called you a name, and not
she did, but she apologized within 5 minutes.
She did.
She's like, I feel bad. I shouldn't have done that. I was being an ass. She did apologize. And then she tried to go into her stream and apologize and was instantly blocked. So I don't know, whatever. I don't know. Yeah, like that, but it's Helen, and we all love Helen, and Helen is a sweetheart. Like, she's not even a mean person. She's a nice person who loves everybody and is kind to everybody. And she called her a horse face. Okay. So she called you a name. So what? So what, dude? Go build your empire and stop addressing every stupid hate comment. You're going to be here all day. Like, stop, dude. Who cares? Yeah. And then she apologized within 5 minutes. She apologized because she's like, you're right. I shouldn't have said that. I was just being an ass. So it's like, let it go. That you don't have to look her up for that. You don't have to look her up and threaten to dox her, and threaten to come for her, and threaten to, put her picture out there and make fun of her. Like, You don't have to do all that, dude. You don't. That's just, oh my God. You don't
Yeah,
have to
and
do
I'm
all
just
that.
letting you know that the people from the drama community, like I said, Helen's an OG, and everybody in the drama community will not appreciate that. And I mean everyone. That's all I'm going to say. So knock it off with that shit. Okay, let me move on to the next, because I really want to get, our panel started, our discussion started. Okay, so the other thing was, okay. Okay. With the St. Jude thing, really, people, you got to stop it. Katie, I'm going to call you out. I'm sorry, but I'm calling you out. You did air quotes about me, whether or not you believe that I give my money. I am offended because you know me. Whether you are mad at me now or whether you don't like me or whatever it is, you called me out on that. Don't do that. You know better. You know who I am. And again, it's none of your business. That also goes out to Tracy. Tracy, I think that what you did for St. Jude, working for them for 14 years, fundraising hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars. I don't fundraise. In fact, when I was going to do a fundraiser selling calendars, I did contact St. Jude's legal department because I needed permission to use their logo. I don't do anything illegal. So, if you want to keep going at me because I do a little drama here and St. Jude wouldn't want to take my money, guess what? They've been taking it for 20 years. All right. So they don't know what I do in my real life either. So you're going to keep talking about St. Jude, St. Jude, St. Jude. All of you, you're ridiculous. If every time you do that, it makes me think that you want to try to take money away from little babies that are dying from cancer, and it nauseates me. All of my money from Teespring goes directly to St. Jude. All of my money that I'm going to earn on my Amazon store, guess where it's going? Yeah, go ahead, guess. St. Jude. So if you have a problem with that, I don't know what to say, but I'm tired of hearing it. So I'm going to say one last time. I do drama. I am not murdering someone. So I stole that line from someone. Okay.
And again, it's Diane's money. She can do what she wants with it. We're not here fundraising on behalf of St. Jude. Like, why don't they just put the link in the chat? You guys know how to Google St. Jude if you want to donate directly to them. Please do. Of course, absolutely. Please do. But to act like somehow we're fundraising for them and trying to cheat them, it's Diane's money.
My money
It's
for
Diane's.
my chats that
It's
you
her
guys
super chat
do.
money. She can do what she wants with it.
Exactly. I can do
So
what I
stop.
want.
You're reaching, dude. You're reaching. Stop it. Hey, Ricky. I'm glad you're here, honey.
All right. So who's the next thing I want to talk to? Okay. Talk about. Sorry. All right. There's a channel person that I never heard of before, but when I came back, I found out that this person was discussing the night. Well, first she discussed the night when we had Molly on. She didn't like that she was upset, and I guess she felt that we didn't treat her fairly. But let me just say this: obviously, you didn't watch all three parts of our live streams about New Orleans. We certainly did treat her well. The fact is that from the time she was arrested, I'm going to just put this out there for you in case you didn't watch it. From the time she was arrested, she was accusing Tiffany of being the thief and talking about it to the point where that woman couldn't take it anymore and came to me and asked me for my platform. From there, we actually uncovered the truth. And then that night that you're talking about where she was crying, guess what? We were empathetic. We did talk to her about her drinking. She told us that her drinking was in a bad place. I hooked her up with a person from the drama community who's a counselor. I gave her phone number to her in Google Hangouts. She didn't look at it for weeks. And when she did see it, because you can tell when someone reads on Google Hangout, she never said thank you or a word. But here's what I did hear. She did tell someone, I don't really care. I didn't get a charge and I'm on vacation. So she didn't really care about helping Tiffany at all. So there you go on that. And then the other thing she said was the night that we did the whole thing about the fantasy rape site, she said that we brought two women on. Someone also said that we set it up. We didn't set anything up, and we didn't pay anyone to come up. Tuesday.
Diane?
Hello?
Diane? Can you hear me, Diane? Can anyone hear me?
I can hear you.
Jody, can you hear me?
Okay, I can hear you now,
I can
Diane.
hear you now.
Sorry. Diane, you
okay.
cut out for a minute there. Sorry, girl.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So let me just finish this up real quick. So the other part was that she said that we re-victimize these women for show. We brought them up on the panel for show. And I'm sorry, I don't know you. And if you had a problem with the way we handle things because you're a psychologist, then maybe you should have come to us. All right. That's all I can say. Maybe you should have come to us and said, well, as a psychologist, I think what you did to those women was not healthy. I have to disagree with you. They wanted to talk about it. I was not trying to re-victimize anyone. So I would appreciate in the future if you have any kind of problems with me. If you're going to talk about me, you're invited here. I'm inviting you here. You know who you are. I don't even have to say your channel name. But you said that you have watched us and you like us. Randy, you know who said it. I don't want to say her channel name because then I'm going to get, people coming at me. I'm going to get people coming at me. And I just feel like she should have invited us over. I mean, if I'm going to talk about someone, they're welcome to come up here, regardless of what people say that it's not. Oh, hi, Leanna. When you want to come up, wait a sec. Are you in the back room? Let me check. You need to click on that link. I sent the link to you in your email. You need to click on it, come in, and then I'll let you onto the panel. So anyway, that's all I really want to say, is that I did not do that.
No, it's not about Dana. You guys, the people in the chat are confused because they don't know who we're talking about. It's not Dana.
No,
it's not Dana. It's not even anybody that we've ever interacted with before.
I didn't know who she was.
Yeah, I'm not subbed to her. I didn't know anything about her. I just got a message that she was tearing us apart and she was, talking mad shit about us. And when I heard,
you're not blocked, Kyle.
Kyle's not. When was Kyle blocked?
He was never blocked.
Oh, okay. No, it wasn't Mama Beth either. No, it wasn't Mama. It's nobody from the drama community. It's nobody that we've ever interacted with before. I'm telling you guys. But she has she had a lot of wrong information because she has never talked to us. She's never heard our side. She's never talked to us, asked us any questions. And I was disappointed in that, to be honest. I'm just being real. I was disappointed in that. I figured that, somebody with her level of education would be interested in hearing both sides. I, assumed that she would want that. So I did leave her a comment and offered to, speak with her if she ever wanted to.
And she got nasty with you. She got nasty with you.
No, she didn't. She didn't even reply to my comment that I saw.
Oh, no, she did.
Oh, I didn't even hear it. Well, I didn't even see it. And then she deleted the video. So, I didn't even see her nasty comment. So, oh well. I kept waiting for her to respond. But I never saw a response. Jenna, I'm looking. I don't see anything. Jenna, on Twitter. But anyway, I just no, Savage. I don't have any DM from you. I think my Twitter DMs are a mess. I'm telling you, there are times that I feel like
Twitter. I hate Twitter. I don't understand it anymore. It's completely different.
I don't have any DM at all from her. Nothing. No. And I think what happens is, okay, Jenna, no, I don't have any DMs at all. Let me refresh. Nope, nothing. I don't know who's trying to send me a message. Sorry. Sometimes it'll show on the bottom of my screen, so-and-so sent you a message, and then I go to look at it and there's nothing there. And that's happened to me like 2 or 3 times now. And I don't understand why. Hey, Sage, I don't understand why that's happening. But anyway, so I'm sorry. I'm sorry, guys, for whoever's trying to get a hold of me. But please know, I think something's up with my Twitter. I don't understand why it does that. And first I thought it was, okay, maybe it was just my phone. And if I look on my computer, it'll be different. But no, even on my computer, it's not showing up.
Well, know something really weird? I get my own notifications when I'm live. That's never happened before.
To your own channel?
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. You're sub to yourself?
Yeah. No, I'm not sub to myself.
Yeah,
no,
I didn't think you can sub to yourself.
No, I'm getting notifications now. It just started recently. It's so weird. But anyway, Rosary, St. Jude, patron saint of hopeless cases and lost causes. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rosary. Thank you. All right. So, I mean, that's pretty much it. Hey, I'm coming in about a half hour. Okay, great. I will keep checking in a half hour to see you in the back room, and I'll add you in, and we can get started because there's a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. There's a lot to talk about. We might have to do this in more than one live stream. And I'm going to be honest with you. I have no knowledge of narcissists. I've never had one in my life, thank God. But from what from what I'm reading, the little bit that I have read, I actually put some stats into the description and a book that someone recommended that people should read. And I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine having to live through that. And we know that from Makeup Mobster, if of those who have been watching her series, When Evil Enters Your Life, she has had a narcissist come into her life who has actually taken her brother captive and has changed. He's a completely different person because he's in an abusive relationship. So that's what we're going to touch on. We're going to touch on everything that Simple Eyes knows and Wendy knows, because Wendy has had dealings in her own life with narcissists. And I believe that a lot of people from the community page, when I posted this, have said they have husbands or brothers or whatever. We can even have children who are narcissists. So I think it's touched a lot of people's lives, and I think it's a great topic to talk about, and it's for your information. Let's see. Will you ever have another live that subkind like me can call and speak? Yes. We'll do different kinds of things on Tuesday nights. We'll have sub speak out. We'll do resolution night. If people want to have a resolution with someone and both people are willing to do it, we'll certainly keep doing that. And sometimes we'll do a drama recap if there is drama. We are a drama channel a little bit. Okay, we like to do a little drama. We're from the drama community. We don't tear people apart, though, on this channel. We don't call them names. We don't call them ugly. We don't make fun of what they look like. We have never done that. So I have to say that we are different than other people who are doing drama. I'm sorry, but we are.
Well, and I can't pretend that I'm not an asshole, because I'm sure that I know that I'm. Oh, someone super chatted. Rosary,
yeah,
you already read it. Thank you, Rosary. Hey, Van.
You know what? Being an asshole and calling people names and going after the children and saying, cam up. Guess what? I already told everyone, if you pay me $50,000, I'll get on cam. Because that's what it cost me to go on cam and have a lawsuit. So if you want me to go on cam, or if you've all Googled me, I know you've all Googled me a million times. Guess what? I get notifications every time you crazy people go and Google me. Someone even wrote a ripoff report on me on Ladies' Night. Someone said that my husband and I stole money from our clients, thousands upon thousands of dollars from our clients, so that I can have reconstructive surgery.
Thank you, Tweety Bird. Appreciate that, Elday.
Reconstructive surgery. I guess I was in a terrible accident that I don't know about. But it's all crazy. See, I don't do that shit. I don't get involved in that shit.
Nope.
The people that do that, you all need to go get your heads examined. I don't understand. I mean, for real.
Yeah.
You all need like a checkup from the neck up.
Checkup from the neck up.
Right. You all need a checkup from the neck up that's doing that crazy shit.
It is pretty dumb.
Go ahead, Google me to your heart's content. Go ahead. You all know my name. Go and Google it. See what you can find. There's nothing there. There.
Yeah, my background is equally boring. There's nothing there. I don't have a record. I don't have anything exciting to dig into. You'll be bored, but go ahead and save and spend your money. But you'll be bored.
And my boo-boo. How is the Jersey Shore for you? You know what? I put a little comment out on my community page that I bumped into you at the Jersey Shore, because that's where I was this weekend. Yes, and by the way, my boo-boo channel, I think, Polyester Jumpers. Thank you for taking your donations and giving them to St. Jude's. You and Wendy have the utmost class and integrity. You both are so appreciated and loved. Thank you so much,
Thank
Polyester.
you, Polyester. Thank you, hon. Thank you.
Remy, love you all for the kids. Thank you.
Thanks, Remy. Are you trying to change your identity, Diane? Vintage wants to know.
What do you mean changing my identity?
I don't think she needs to. She'll be all right. I think Vintage is playing with you because Vintage is funny.
Oh, I know. No, I'm not trying to change my identity. I am who I am. My pictures are all out there. Go find them, bitches. Go ahead.
Go find them, bitches. Scavenger hunt for Diane's pictures. Go ahead.
Right.
Knock yourself out.
You want, put them on Twitter. I don't care what you do. Tweety Bird 1969. Do it. You're the one who put out the information that I had reconstructive surgery.
Hey, Mandy. How are you, beautiful? We missed every single person in the chat to say hello to everybody here. Hello to everybody.
I'm so
with the facial reconstruction.
Yes. That's it. I said to myself, I have to hide. I have to run. I need to steal a bunch of money from my clients so that no one knows who I am. That makes so much sense. Crazy, like I said, crazy people. So my Boo-Boo's channel, who's in the chat right now, hopefully by next week, next Tuesday, we're going to have the real Mean Girls on here. The absolute real Mean Girls that the book and the movie were based on. They're going to be here. It's not a joke. There are real women that this was based on from Upper Darby, Pennsylvania. Yep. They don't live there now. That's where they lived then.
Love Hollis.
And both of you are funny together. Thank you, Love Hollis. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Space Ace. I appreciate that.
So,
Tweety Bird loves me. Y'all be nice. Oh, I think you're the only one, Ash. She really doesn't like anybody else that I've seen. Yeah, she's nasty. She is really nasty.
Yeah, she is nasty. And
another Amber Sue. Good Lord. The two of them are good. The two of them should be good friends.
Amber Sue Eros, please step up. Please step up. With a real Slim Shady, please step up.
Why? What do we want her for?
I don't know, because she's still
want her here.
She's still talking shit. She's crazy.
Oh, let her go talk shit somewhere else. Goodbye. Don't come here. Yes, it's not Tweety, it's Elday. And I don't remember why Elday doesn't like us.
I will, Boo-Boo.
Clearly she doesn't.
I think Diane was the princess-sized lady. That's right. I was a princess-sized lady in another life. And that's why I'm dressed like this in my little logo here. Yes. That's my princess-sized outfit, but I just took it to another level. Yo, yo, yo. Okay? So there you go.
All right. Simple Eyes, is that it, Diane? Is there more?
Yes, I am done with my rant. I am done addressing these people. Like I said, leave Ainsley alone. Leave her alone. And that goes for people in the drama community, And like I said, after tonight, after this live stream, I am going back and I am editing her messages out of my live stream. That means the chat will go away. But I promised her that I would do that. I think the other two ladies who have her messages should do the same. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Casey. And no, Wendy and Diane aren't the real Mean Girls. No, we're not.
No, we're not. Thank you, Casey. Thank you, darling.
There's nothing mean about us.
Well, I know, Jenna, you're right. And I think that, obviously people have really strong feelings about particular people in the communities. And, I'm out of it. I have withdrawn. I'm completely out of it. If people want to continue talking about each other, that's on them. But I have no desire to be part of it. I really don't. And so hopefully it'll calm down at some point.
I wasn't even talking about anyone.
Oh, I know. You were at the store.
I was away for the weekend. I come back and I'm like, this one's talking to you. This one's talking. I'm like, get out of here. I'm not talking about anyone. Don't involve me in a bunch. I hate that. They. Stop it with the they. I don't do that. I never do that. We never hear us say they.
Well, and we get in trouble because it's, some of our mods or whatever, these troublemaking. Hey, Uber, beautiful girl, our troublemaking mods and blah, blah, blah. They're human beings and they're their own entities. They're allowed to have opinions and do what they want on their own channels. They're only our mods when they're in here with us. The rest of the time, they're their own people, can do their own things. That's it. And if you have an issue with them, take it up with them. You leave us out of it. We have nothing to do with it.
That's right. That's right. Oh, I'm going to say one more thing before we get on to the topic. in the description is my link for my Amazon store. And guess what? I added a lot of new items on there. So start your Christmas shopping. It's 113 days till Christmas, ladies. All the money's going to St. Jude. Did you hear that, people who hate St. Jude? It's all going to St. Jude. So the link is in the description. And we'll talk about that more on Thursday night. And we'll talk about Thread Up as well.
People who hate St. Jude.
Huh?
You said, did you hear that? People who hate St. Jude.
That's right. That's right. Because that's what I feel like. They hate St. Jude.
All right. Hey, Jenny. How are you,
Hi,
beautiful?
Eric. Hi,
Hey.
Eric. How are
Hey.
you, Eric?
Diane yells at me. Can we talk about that? I don't think so, Ash.
Talk about what?
That you yelled at Ash one time 1,000 years ago.
I don't even
About his
remember.
Halloween costume frame. Oh, cool, Remy. Thank you, Remy.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true. Receipts or it didn't happen, Ash. Receipts or it didn't happen, girl.
Yeah, she keeps saying it. I don't believe her.
She hasn't proved a damn thing. I don't know.
Nope, she hasn't.
I don't know.
Oh, there's one other thing. I forgot. What's that? Oh, God. What is that? Foxy Bit or Foxy Bot or whatever that crazy person is. She went into Laura's chat and told her that in our chat, we doxed her. Now, here's the thing. How would Foxy Bot know Laura's address? Let me just say this. It never happened. It never happened. We don't allow shit like that in here. We don't like doxing. We don't allow it in here. And our mods are on that like flies on shit. So knock it off with that. Laura, do you believe everything that trolls say?
Yes, I think she does, honestly. She kind of does, yes. Here's the thing that I think could happen, though. I'm wondering if like people come in and they have us already blocked so that you and I can't see their comments at all. And if they have our mods blocked too, then they won't see them either. But I didn't see, I remember
You cut out again.
So I didn't see anything. And I didn't see her answer me either. So if she answered me, she maybe didn't tag my name or whatever. I didn't see her answer me or him. I don't know what if Foxy Bucks is a boy or a girl. I'm sorry. But anyway, there she is. I told her that one person did, not y'all. I even told Wen that night, and I told her that y'all probably didn't notice it. Yes, exactly. So I'm wondering if these people have us blocked already so we can't see them, because even when she tried to explain who it was or, warn me that it was happening, I still didn't see it. So I don't know if you're able to give us a timestamp and a place where that's happening, we will absolutely remove the comment because nobody wants that to happen in here. We don't support that. So to go and tell Laura that it was happening in here is only going to set her off and make her even more mad at us. I know. I don't know why that you did that. Alex, I'm going to time you out. Why don't you take a 5 and go get a drink? Calm down. Get some water or something.
No, really.
Go potty, Alex.
What that was a problem by you going in there and telling her that she was doxing here.
Yeah.
Don't do that anymore. Don't do that. Tell us.
Yeah.
Not her.
Exactly. Please don't let them screw me over because I saw it. They said she had a brick house. I told her you did not support it. I get that, but hold on.
Well, actually, I heard prior that someone said that she lived in a brick house. So I don't know. Look,
apparently she said that in her own stream. I guess somebody came in her in her own stream. I guess right. And I'm not trying to make a problem for FoxyBot because I don't know that I have any reason to doubt their motives. But I hope that they understand that when you go and you tell Laura something like that, she's going to assume that we want that to happen. We don't, and we don't, and that we don't, or you should know that we don't. I told Ash and I told Winwin and I told Leanne it was one damn person on the chat. Okay, well, if you can figure out who it is, we'll make sure we go get it and take it out because we don't want any of that in here at all. That's not something that we support. And I just, I wish that you wouldn't have gone and told her that because all that did was make her more mad at us. It certainly didn't help anything.
Listen, if someone said someone lives in a brick house, a lot of people live in a brick house. That's not doxing. Come on. Let's get serious here. There was no doxing that took place in here. I'm sorry.
That's true. I mean, lots of people live in a brick house. I suppose that's true. But I don't know. I'm just saying, I absolutely told her you did not support it. It named her address and state. Well, we don't support that. We absolutely don't support that. So if you can tell us who the person was, so we can
I don't
get rid
believe
of them.
that.
That would be
I'm
great.
sorry. I don't. First of all, we all know what state she lives in. She talks about it all the time. She has said herself, only two people know her actual address. So that would mean that the two people who know her address are the ones that let that information out. So she needs to go to them if she thinks that really happened. I'm just quoting Laura.
Yeah, I don't have her address. I don't know her address, and I don't want it.
All
One
right.
of the three pigs lived in a brick house. That's pointless. It might have been a comment about the three little pigs. The last one lived in a brick house.
I never said that you Googled me. I never said anyone in here Googled me. I said everybody go Google me if you want to. It's not very interesting. There's a lot of bullshit, but go ahead. I mean, do what you want. I had explicit directions to her house. Why would I lie about that and tell your mods?
I'm not saying that you are lying. I'm not saying that you're lying about anything. I'm saying that we did not see it. And my theory is that these people block us so that we can't see it. So if you can point out who it is so we can go get them and block them, that would be great. If you could do that. Like, can you help us?
No, I can see everybody. It's my channel. People who have me blocked, like when Ridgemont High came in here, she has me blocked all over the place. But when she comes in my chat, I can see her. So yeah, I can see people. They can't, you can have me blocked.
Well, maybe I'm wrong on that. I'm trying to figure out like how it is that nobody saw it except for FoxyBot. I wish that we would have seen it so that we could have got it out of there.
And here's the thing. That is something that you should screenshot. That is screenshot worthy if someone did that so that we have proof and we have.
And then email it to Diane or send it to us on Twitter so we can go get rid of it. Like, don't run to Laura and tell her that, because all that does is make her more pissed at us as if we support that kind of stuff. That's all I'm saying, is that it doesn't help for calming anything down. I wanted you to get it out so Laura would not accuse you. Well, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
A screenshot and a timestamp maybe would have been more helpful.
Yeah, that helps. Next time, if you see something like that, and if we missed it, screenshot it and get it to us.
Yeah.
My email is out there. I'm pinkpepper821 on Twitter. Just get it to me.
Yeah, she took it and ran with it. I know she did. I know she didn't know about it. FoxyBot told her about it, and that set her off, and she got all mad. And see what they do? They're just as sick and disgusting as I am. Okay, no. Okay. Like, it doesn't help calming anything down to do something like that. But just my opinion.
Yeah.
You don't want to handle it however you want. I'm certainly not coming at you sideways.
Yeah.
I totally get it. And, it sounds like you weren't feeling well that night, and I hope that you're feeling better.
Yeah. We want to, we don't do that stuff over here. If it happens, if something like that happens, it's not intentional. People come in here and, I've been doxxed all over, YouTube. Big deal. I'm sorry. I'm getting to the point where I don't care anymore if people do it, but I understand why people who are. But
it can be dangerous. It can be scary.
Of course it can be dangerous.
And I don't want to see Laura get doxxed. I don't want to see bad things happen to her. I don't hate the woman. I really don't. I know a lot of people don't like her, but I don't hate the woman. And I just certainly don't want bad things to happen to her.
I don't hate her either. Again, I've never had an actual problem with Laura. I really haven't. But, I'm not even going to go any further. At this point, I think I just want to let it rest and just move on. Whatever I said tonight about Ainsley, I mean it. Leave her alone. Everybody already dragged her. She's been dragged. The other women have been dragged. And, it happened. It did happen. Was it something that, people were not, comfortable with? Yes. But there's no reason to drag someone because it's not going to get you anywhere. It really isn't. And it's only going to make that person miserable. So I would just say, leave it alone. Okay. So let's get into our topic.
All right. Let's get into our topic. So because Alex is about to bust a blood vessel. So Alex, we're going to talk about it now. I hope you're ready.
Now, everybody,
hope you have your
notebooks out. Because
I hope that this goes well. poor Simple Eyes. We pulled her up here at the last minute because we had two other people that were going to do this with us. And then both of them, for whatever reason, were not able to make it. So at the last minute, we're like, Simple Eyes, check your DMs. And we're like, you want to come up here and do this with us?
Well, you know why? I spotted her in the chat.
Yeah.
I said to Wendy, Simple Eyes is in here. And I
Yeah.
know.
Oh, no.
Yeah, and I know that she's done a lot on Narcissist on her own channel. She's talked about it.
She knows about it.
She knows about it. So I said, let's see if we can get her up here. And she's here. So
she's being very brave. So you guys be nice to her. She's being very brave about coming up here, which is very sweet.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. All right. So how would you like to start? Do you want me to ask questions and then you answer them?
Yeah.
Or, yeah. Is that better? Is that
That's easy. It's such a long story. Yeah.
Okay. So how can we most easily identify a narcissist? Because most people, what I see on YouTube, on the interwebs, most people tend to think, I feel like that word gets thrown around a lot. I feel like people are being misidentified as narcissists a lot. Kind of like people are being identified as homophobes and racists and whatever. And
Yeah.
I feel like these words and pedophile, all of these words, I feel like they get thrown around because they're big, triggering words. And and maybe they get a strong reaction, and maybe that's part of the reason. But how can we best identify, like, what are some of the big key features that we want to look at?
Wait a minute. Some people are saying, can we first have a solid definition of what a narcissist is?
That was exactly my words, Diane. I just said that.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay, listen.
You
I
need to give us a definition of a narcissist.
This is already going great.
Wait a minute.
Already going great. Diane's not even listening to what I'm saying. Okay.
I had to type something, so I got distracted. But what I'm going to say also is I am not going to be talking too much other than, being like the chat, maybe asking a question. For instance, can a kid become a narcissist if they have a narcissistic mother? Things like that. Yeah. So I'm going to just really turn it over to Simple Eyes and Wendy and Makeup Mobster when she gets here. I'm checking on the back room every so often to make sure she's here or not here, and I will add her when she is here. Okay, sorry, go ahead.
Okay, no, a narcissist is not an arrogant asshole. I don't believe that that's a good enough definition. I think there's
better personality flaw.
Right. That's a personality flaw. Okay, so some people are saying a narcissist is somebody who thinks everything is about them. How would you just define that?
Well, I used to think it was just that.
Yeah.
Like I used to think it was just like the story of Narcissist loving his image, and it was someone who was self-absorbed and thought they were the best and the most beautiful, but it's a lot deeper than that. Like,
okay,
they have no empathy, and you can't always recognize them because there's different types of narcissists.
Yes, that is true.
I didn't know I was with one.
Yes, there are several definitions. So give us any of them then. Give us a couple. Give us one, maybe the main one, the one that we're most likely to see maybe around here.
A grandiose sense of self.
Okay. So a grandiose sense of self. So they think that they are better than other people.
Okay. They are preoccupied with fantasies and unlimited success, even if they don't have it.
Okay,
they think they should have it.
So they think that they should be like, so they have this fantasy that they're going to be what, like famous maybe, or things like that?
Well, they're above everybody.
Okay. Inflated sense of self, superiority.
Yeah. They feel like they're special.
Okay.
They need constant admiration. You can't criticize them.
Okay.
You can't. It's just not going to happen.
Right.
They're entitled.
And what happens if you try to criticize them?
Then they're going to unleash the wrath on you.
Yeah.
So they're going to just destroy you emotionally, mentally.
So lack of empathy and a toxic reaction to any criticism because it threatens their ego. Yes. And you do get punished. Yes, you do get punished.
What's some of the ways that a narcissist will punish you? Just like in a regular, whether it's a husband or a mother or a
Well,
sister or brother, what kind of punishment do they give to you?
well, I didn't come from a narcissistic parental background. Mine is with like in a relationship. So
Okay.
for him,
All right. How did he?
it would be I can't even say it, devaluing you. So you're not good at anything that you're good at. You're no longer good at. You don't do anything right. You're accused of things that you don't even know you didn't do, but you know you did them, but they'll convince you didn't do them.
Or vice
I'm
versa.
sorry.
They'll-
Sorry. That's my grandmother clock.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Oh yeah. You know what, Janie? Actually,
I'll just move out of the way so you don't have to hear that.
That's all right.
the other person that was coming up here, I put some of the stats into the description. They actually said that there's general narcissism, and then there's a legitimate disorder called narcissistic personality disorder.
Yes.
Yeah, and there's a criteria to be given that.
Yes. And someone is saying the most dangerous is a malignant narcissist.
Mm-hmm.
And what's that?
What's a malignant narcissist?
Mm-hmm. Like, what does that mean? Janie, do you want to come up here, Janie?
It depends what their idea of a malignant one is, because I know you can be a sociopath and narcissist, but you can also have this Machiavellianism, which means an ends to a mean, which means there's no limit to how far they're going to destroy you.
Right.
That's the ends to mean.
Yes, a narcissist makes you question yourself and your own sanity. Somebody's saying, yes, definitely true.
Once you come in contact with one, you'll never be the same again.
That is true. That is true. Some people in the audience are saying that they absolutely understand.
What's a covert? What's a covert narcissist?
That they're hidden. You don't know that they're a narcissist until they basically have trapped you.
Okay, so they make you fall in love with them. They can be enchanting, even though they're a narcissist. They suck you in, and then once you're sucked in and you fall in love with them, then that's when they go at you.
Yeah, they start to withdraw. They start to make you beg for attention. You start to become dependent on any affection they give you.
Right. And that's called love bombing. They call that love bombing in the beginning, right? And so and it's a pattern, it's a cycle that goes over and over and over. And what happens is in the beginning, you believe that it's almost like your connection to them is too good to be true. It's like you feel like you're soulmates. You're two half, of the same whole. Like you really do believe that. And that's from all of the love bombing. And you can't believe, how lucky you are that you lucked into this relationship, right? And then what happens is they start to withdraw that attention from you, and they will punish you. And that's the punishment phase where they start to do silent treatment. They will like devalue you, they'll discard you, things like that. And you start to go crazy and they will gaslight you, make you feel like things that are real, that happened. They will try to act like it didn't happen, and vice versa. Things that didn't happen, they will make you try to believe that it did happen. This particular person that I was with, I'll just try to give some examples from my life, because there's a lot of, it's a lot of terminology. I get it. But this particular person that I was with used to tell, like, if I was 5 minutes late coming out from work, he would accuse me of being late because I was having sex with my coworkers in the office. And he would be furious at me. He wouldn't speak to me like for the rest of the evening. And it wouldn't matter what I said to him. It wouldn't matter if I, begged and pleaded and cried. It wouldn't matter. Nothing I said would convince him otherwise. It was insane. Yeah, absolutely insane. And somehow I still felt like it was my fault for being late. Like it wasn't his fault for being unreasonable and ridiculous. And never mind that you're calling me a whore at this point, but that's not his fault. No. It was my fault because I was late. If I wasn't late, then he wouldn't have thought that.
Yeah.
Things like that. And then I would do everything I could to try to fix it, to try to make him forgive me for nothing. I didn't do anything. Why am I begging you to forgive me for nothing that I did? But that's exactly how it worked. And then he would get off on that.
Oh, yes. Mine would
Yeah.
get me in a rage and get me so upset about something until I lost it and I was so upset. And
Yeah.
I'd just turn around, smile, and walk away.
Yeah. Exactly.
And here
They
I
get off on
am.
that.
Yeah, oh,
It's called
totally.
supply. That's the supply.
Yeah.
You are the supply. And everything that you do that feeds that is called supply. So when we talk about how to deal with one and we talk about, terms like going no contact, that's why you have to cut off that supply. You have
Yeah,
to.
and they'll get angry when you do. Like, it doesn't get better when you do. They're going to go
Not at
nuts
first,
when
no.
you cut them off.
They're going to go nuts. Yes, they don't like it.
So they act like, so they try to convince you that you're the crazy one. Right?
Oh, absolutely. That was huge. That I was crazy. Everything. Yeah. All of a sudden it's crazy. It's amazing how my whole life I was never a crazy person until I was with this guy. Then all of a sudden I was crazy, and I was crazy. He's right. I was absolutely crazy. I was absolutely crazy. He wasn't wrong, but
No,
I was
I was crazy.
Yeah. I was crazy because I was being driven crazy, to be honest. And
Because you're in survival mode. That's what I was
for
in.
sure. And I was in a constant state of panic, anxiety, high anxiety, trying to do everything I could not to make him mad. Because God only knew what was going to happen to me. And he never put a hand on me. That's the thing.
Nope.
I'm not talking about physical abuse at all. He never put a hand on me. He would yell at me and say bad words to me and say very mean things to me. Yes. But he didn't ever touch me. He didn't ever hurt me physically. But it didn't matter. That was enough. My head was in a really bad place for many years.
Yeah.
So it's not a mental illness. It's more of a disorder.
It's a personality disorder. They can't fix it. They're not curable.
Okay. All right. So there's no medication, in other words, for a narcissist. Okay.
No.
Yeah. They're saying narcissism is a personality trait, not a mental illness.
No.
Yeah. Jenna, can you DM me those so that because I'm missing them, Jenna. Can you DM those to me, hun? And I'll make sure that we read them. Or maybe Diane.
I have that in front of me.
Question?
Oh, do you? Hey, Tilly Mae. I'm unblocked. Look, I can see Tilly. Oh no, it's only in here. I can only see her in here. That's right.
What class of people are the most prominent narcissists? Is it powerful men and women executives? I don't know.
It's across the board. It can be anybody.
Jenna's reading directly from the DSM-5. Good. Their mom will take away from them every time when they have issues and make sure. Oh, sorry.
Now, I actually read somewhere a little bit of information. It said, now I don't know if this is true or not. It said that mothers who are narcissists, the chances are much higher of their children being narcissists because they've been abused by their mother and they don't know anything other than the treatment that they were getting from their mother. So they think it's the norm. Is that, is there anything to back that up?
Well, in the family dynamic, there's always the scapegoat and the golden child.
Mm-hmm.
So the golden child might likely turn out to be a narcissist.
Okay.
Because one is always going to get crapped on. Like, I would say my son is the scapegoat because his father's the narcissist. Okay. My son is the scapegoat.
And what does that mean? Can you define that further for us so I can understand what you mean? Hey, Alexa.
He's just not, because he has autism and he has not performed to be the most perfect human being. It's an embarrassment to a certain level for a narcissist, and therefore this child is not good enough. So anything that goes wrong, it's that child's fault, even if the child's not done anything wrong.
So they would if they had more than one child. Like if you had 2 children, that's the son that the narcissist would pick on because of his, disability.
Okay, someone has a question. Someone who is arrogant, hang on, let me get back up there. Someone who is arrogant can have a grandiose sense of self, but does that make them a narcissist? Or are they truly a narcissist and that makes them appear as severely arrogant? Like, which comes first, the chicken or the egg type of thing almost? Okay, thanks, Jenna.
That's really hard because a grandiose sense of self can just be an egotistical person. There has to be this criteria of lack of empathy, is preoccupied with like status and entitlement. I wouldn't say they're the same.
Okay.
You have to have these, out of the 9 criteria for a narcissist, you got to have 5 to make the list.
Okay. And so the 9 is what Jenna is emailing me right now, right, Jenna? Is that what you're sending me right now? Are the 9 different criteria?
Yeah.
And so in order to be like, I guess, quote, diagnosed as one, you would have to meet 5 of these criteria, 5 out of the 9.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Okay.
But
So
narcissists are so good at what they do, they're so hard to diagnose.
Oh, very. And what, from my understanding, like therapy doesn't help, because what they do is they pick up the keywords in therapy that make you think that they have, that they're reformed or whatever. And all they do is use that to manipulate and be better at gaslighting and hurting other people.
Yeah, because they can mimic. They're mimicking. Like when you're getting love bombed and you think this is your soulmate, it's because they're mimicking you.
Right.
Because there's nobody inside them. They have no soul. They have nothing inside.
That makes me want to vomit. Oh my God, that's so true. That hurts
so
my
that's
heart.
why it's terrible. That's why they can be anything to anybody, but they're empty. Like my ex-husband, I was just amazing in the beginning. I was just wonderful. I was perfect. I was creative and artistic like him.
Yeah.
He gets me over to his country. I am isolated from society. I am isolated from everything and everybody. And now I'm no longer good at anything.
Yeah, it's not amazing.
No,
I was the most intelligent person he had ever met. He was so impressed with how intelligent I was. And I was, I challenged him and he loved that and all of this. And then it became, hey, Red Lotus. Then it became, those were not good things, that, and he would completely change it all. And I don't even want to say it because it still triggers me. I'm still recovering from my abuser. I just am. So there's a lot of things that I can't say. I'm not going to say because I just can't relive it at the moment. But, suffice it to say, all of that changed. That's who I was in the beginning. But the things that he loved about me in the beginning were all the things that he couldn't stand about me. Yes, he hated them about me because it meant that I, would question him, and I would ask questions about his behavior, and he couldn't stand that. I was in big trouble every time I did that. I got in huge trouble.
Yeah, and he's lacking all those things that he loved about you because he's trying to suck it out of you and get it himself. He doesn't have it.
Right.
Like the absurd things that have happened, and it took me to many, many years to be able to talk about some of those things. Mm-hmm. I can talk about them now, and they are upsetting, but I can talk about the bad things he did, because in my mind, no normal person would ever conceive another person could do this to someone. And
it's amazing when you look back and you think, how did I live like this? How did I think this was normal? But I did. I really legit did. Mm-hmm. Hey, Nikki. Hi, beautiful. I really legit thought that this was normal and that he was still my soulmate. And so much so that I fought for this relationship for years. Because I thought, this is my soulmate. I have to fight for this. It's worth fighting for. And I didn't care that I was dying, legit dying.
Yeah,
did not
you're
care.
Physically dying.
Physically dying. I was. Did not care. That to me was not as important as the fact that my soulmate was losing a connection with me, and I couldn't let that happen.
I remember telling my sister within the first year of marriage, this guy's going to cheat on me. And she saw him being loving and affectionate and thinking, no, if anything, he's going to end up an alcoholic. I'm like, nope, he's going to cheat on me, because I knew him better than she did. Mm-hmm. I knew what he was going to do. And I knew why he was going to do it.
Right. That's what they do.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they do. Because they need a new supply. Your supply will run out eventually. They will get sick of your supply. Your supply will be boring after a while, and they will move on to a new supply. They will deplete you, which is why how you get away is you go no contact. You do not respond to messages. You go no contact. There's 2 different ways that people can get away. And we'll talk about this more later, but there's no contact, and they call it, there's another one called gray rock. And gray rock is what you do when you have to like co-parent with someone. Like you can't cut them out of your life completely because you have children together. So you go gray rock. And that means the only thing that you ever talk about are your kids. That's it. You don't have any other conversations, any other topic he wants to bring up, ignore. You don't talk about anything else other than your kids. That's called gray rock. But no contact for those of us that don't have kids with our narc that's in our life. We can go no contact, which means you do not stalk their social media. You do not respond to messages. You do not engage with them in any way whatsoever. None. And let me tell you why. And that's hard. That's so hard to do because of course you want to stalk their social media and see what they're doing. And of course you want to respond, especially because what's going to happen is they will come back to you and with the love bombing, it'll start all over again, the love bombing and the begging for forgiveness and you're my soulmate and we have to fight for this. We can't let this go. We've come so far and blah, blah, blah. Right.
It's always been you the whole time.
It's always been you. Yes. I always end up back in your arms. No matter what I do, I always end up back with you. Yeah. Right. No matter what other things I buy in my life, nothing makes me happier than when I'm with you. And I believed it. I'm a fucking idiot. I believed all of it. Yes, you're right. I totally and it took me too many years. I'm embarrassed to say how many years. Too many years to realize that was a bunch of shit. Almost to the point that if he sent me a message tonight during this stream and said those words, I probably would believe him. Like that's how sick I am. I'm not even kidding. And I know that sounds funny, but that's how sick I am. That's how messed up my head is because of this. And which is why I feel like it's so important for you guys to learn about this stuff. I had to teach myself this stuff. I wish somebody had been out there 11 years ago to teach me about this. I really do. And I wish I would have known to look this stuff up or learn about this because I didn't know anything about this. And that's why I'm passionate about making sure you guys know about this.
So does a narcissist like spot a person who they know has a really good heart? And okay, so they can.
The more empathetic you are, the more valuable you are.
Okay.
And I am a very empathetic person. That is true.
Yeah.
That is true.
Yeah, he's not going to go for someone who's a narcissist like himself because that's competition.
Right.
He needs to supply. He needs to feed off you.
Right.
And he's going to get the most empathetic person that he can manipulate, depending what his goal is in the end, right?
Right.
Well, you know what? Pink said your reflection of the really good times, maybe, Wendy. You know what? There's it's funny, the book that someone had suggested on my community page is actually called The Object of My Affection is in My Reflection, written by Raquel Lerner. It's in my, you really need to take a look at my description later because it talks about her book and a lot of other things. There's some stats in there as well. But, for people who want to learn about it, I swear, thank God. Oh my God. Thank God that I've never had a narcissist in my life because I didn't know. The first time I heard the word narcissist was by a friend of mine who I went to high school with, and I reconnected with her back on Facebook, and her mother died. And she told me that she didn't go to her funeral because her mother was a narcissist. I didn't know what that was. She said she made my life a living hell. So when her mother died, she didn't care. She had no feelings whatsoever about her.
Yeah. So
my son went no contact a long time ago.
Yeah, you have
and he's
to.
Pretty young.
And see, and the sad thing is that and going no contact is hard. It's not an easy thing to do. But the problem is that once you're completely depleted and there's no supply left, you're going to end up no contact anyway, because he'll do a final discard and you'll never hear from them again. Like, that's it. Like, they'll dump you for good. And then, so you're going to end up no contact anyway. And by the time you get to that stage, you've gone through years, in my case, years of abuse and, physical and mental breakdown. So don't put yourself through that. There is no other way out. A lot of people think, like I did, that you can change them, that your love will fix them. I did. These are all things that I thought, I'll just love him out of this. I'll help him, because what he did was he acted like a scared little boy. He acted like a scared little boy all the time. That, he was going to be abandoned, and he had abandonment issues. And so my job then became to prove to him that I would never abandon him no matter what he did. And isn't that convenient? Because no matter what he did to me, I would sit there and take it. So Tink, yes. Do they often fake weaknesses and
Yes.
like depression or suicidal tendencies? Yes, especially when you're away. Anytime that I went away with friends, anytime that especially like special occasions that I would spend with family members. Vinny, how are you feeling, Vinny?
Vinny. Oh, thank you, Vinny. You know what, Vinny? I heard one of your live streams, and I have to say your speech to me sounds totally back to normal. So good for you.
Vinny, you're a rock star. I'm so proud of
Yep,
you.
you are a rock star.
Keep doing it, Vinny. You're doing awesome. Proud of you. And certainly best wishes.
I couldn't even go to the movies without being harassed by him.
Absolutely. I would go to the movies, or God forbid I went to the movies and didn't tell him ahead of time that I was going to the movies. Oh my God. I got in so much trouble for that. I was, of course, cheating on him. Of course. Tink says, he tells me I'm the reason he gets up in the morning. He has nobody but me. Absolutely. That's a sign, girl. That is a sign of manipulation. Yeah. That is a manipulation right there.
It's not good.
Yeah.
They should be able to exist as an adult without the help of another adult.
That's right.
Wait a minute. Pink, Pizza Kitty, yes, you can definitely please tell us what it is that you're. Let me go back to the comment, because I feel like you think that we're ignoring you. Let me find your comment. Can I tell what my abusive ex told me? Absolutely. If you want to share that with the chat.
They tend to ruin special occasions. Now, why is that? Because they don't like anyone else getting attention. So like big occasions, like my 40th birthday, or, Christmases, or, big occasions for me, were often like pushed to the side and usually they were ruined. They were always ruined. Because I don't know, like I assumed because the attention and the focus wasn't on him, is my guess.
Yeah, it's not about them. You look good. You're not supposed to look good. It's going to give you confidence. It's going to make you proud of yourself.
Yeah.
Can't have that.
Can't have that.
No.
That's a problem. Yes.
And I had the double whammy of his mom being one too. So I got a hard learning experience. Yeah. Because I'd never encountered one in my life before this.
Yeah.
No one tells you what a real one is. No one educates you how to look out for one.
Right. And that's why, I guess for me, that's why when this word gets thrown around on YouTube a lot, they're a narcissist, they're a narcissist. Are they really? Like, think about what a narcissist truly, truly is. It's not just somebody who, feels like they are a pretty, they're pretty, or they're, nice looking, or they're proud of their accomplishments, because you're allowed to be proud of your accomplishments. You're supposed to be proud of yourself. You're supposed to be proud of your accomplishments. That doesn't make you a narcissist. It doesn't.
No.
I'm allowed, and it took me a lot of years to be able to say that about myself. I'm allowed to be proud of my accomplishments. I'm allowed to. I should be. I worked hard for them. That's not the same as being a narcissist.
Okay, Pizza Kitty said, "Thank you, Diane." He would tell me if he didn't love me, he wouldn't get mad, and you were the first woman that he ever hit. So, is it common for narcissists to also be physically abusive?
Mine wasn't. Mine was very much emotionally, mentally.
Yeah, mine wasn't, but that doesn't.
It was. Yeah.
I was going to say, that doesn't mean that they won't be. It's just that mine didn't need to be, because I crumbled as soon as he would start the punishment phase. I buckled instantly because I didn't want to be punished. I felt like I was dependent on him for survival, and then he would just dump me off in the street, and I would just crumble to the ground. A
lot of people are saying mine was both. So they were both physically abusive and mentally abusive.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it doesn't mean that they're not physically abusive. I'm just saying, for me, mine was not. They certainly can be. Of course, if the mental punishment doesn't work, I would imagine physical punishment would be next. For mine, mental punishment was sufficient for me.
Same.
Wow. I can't believe how many people that are in this chat right now
Yes.
who have been in narcissistic relationships.
Somebody wants to know that we got a super chat from Follow Me. Thank you, Follow Me.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Is there a cure for narcissism? No, there is not.
No.
Are there documented examples of narcissists wanting to change and getting rid of that trait for their personality?
No.
That's a good question. I don't believe that I've ever heard of that. I think that they can learn different kinds of ways of communicating and things like that. But typically, they don't believe they're the problem. They think
No,
you're the
they're
problem.
never the problem.
Yeah.
This Red Lotus, you can't, if the child picks up the traits, that's it. They're done. They'll be a narcissist forever. It's not curable. And once a child gets those qualities, they're screwed. And everyone who comes in contact is screwed.
And that's really sad. That is really heartbreaking because there is no cure. And what they do is if they do end up in therapy, like by some miracle, you force them into therapy and they're willing to go.
It's all manipulated.
Yes, a narc can be a friend or a coworker too. Absolutely. It can be a family member. It can be
a boss.
It can be a boss. It can be your child. I did, Pink. And I'm not making this about me. I just feel like I need to share like examples so that you guys have examples of what I'm saying, because a lot of these definitions, they're complicated and you might not understand what they mean. But if I give you an example, even though I don't want to talk about my own life, but if if by giving you an example helps you see that this is something that has gone on in your life, then you will know to get the hell away from this person. This is not a person you want to be near.
Yeah, in my own case, my ex-husband comes from a big family like me. There's 6 kids in his family and 6 in mine. And he is the only one who is treated a specific way. And he's the only one who cannot actually adult like most adults. So he very much relies on his narcissistic mother, and his parents to support him, even though he's a 40-year-old man with 3 kids altogether. He still needs them to financially support him. He's not an adult in the sense of an adult, but he's hiding behind his wife now because she's the one that works. So he can do whatever he wants.
Right. Mine got me to actually sell property because I was telling Diane about this the other day. He was so upset that I still shared property with Scott that he made me sell it. He made me have Scott sell the property so that we wouldn't be connected, because he didn't want me to be connected to him in any way. That was just one more thing. And then he told me that if Scott ever set foot in my home, that he would never come back here again. Things like that, that kind of manipulation. And I did it. That's the worst part, is that I did it. Like, why?
Yeah.
Why would I do that? Why would I agree to that and just not tell him to fuck off? Like,
because
why?
You fell in love with him because you fell in love with him because of the charming, enchanting things that he said to you.
What an
you fell in
idiot.
love with him.
This is my soulmate, right? This is my soulmate.
Yeah. How many people look at all the people in the chat who have been in relationships? That means that they all fell in love with the narcissist, because the narcissist knows how to manipulate you and knows how to come in as this charming, I'm going to sweep you off your feet kind of thing. And they do. And then you're stuck.
Yeah. Completely manipulated. Yes, I was completely manipulated.
And the reason why I got out as fast as I did was because, like, this one thing is I called him out because I have had a dysfunctional family life, and I've had bad things in my childhood that have kind of made me a little bit, you're not going to do that to me. I'm not going to let you. I'm not going to let you take away something from me. As much as he took away, there's still that little tiny thing he couldn't kill. And I fought back. I mean, it was not good for me to fight back, but I would fight back. So calling him out on his stuff made my life even worse.
Well, and they call that, what do they call that? Ripping off the mask, right? They call that ripping off the mask. So that's exposing a narcissist for what they are. But it's very painful to do that, and you get a lot of hell for that. You absolutely get a lot of hell for that.
So what do you do? Let me ask you a question. So you want to rip off the mask of the narcissist. So what do you do? What do you do? Stand there and tell them you're a narcissist? I mean, like, how do you approach that?
No,
What do you do?
you never
You-
call them a
You
narcissist.
can't, because they'll just tell you that
Yeah.
you're crazy. Yeah, you can't
Okay,
call them a
or they
narcissist.
do it when
Mine-
you-
Mine would turn it around on me and say that I was the narcissist. That's part of the gaslighting, right?
Yeah.
That all the things that I would accuse him of, he would turn around and accuse me of doing the same things, and therefore I was the
Mhm.
narcissist instead. And I would believe him. It was a mind fuck from beginning to end. But that so you can't tell them they're narcissists. I tried everything. I tried everything from straight on confrontation to why don't we do group therapy or couples therapy? Why I offered that, like, let's do couples therapy, hoping that maybe the therapist would, diagnose them and therefore I wouldn't be in trouble for it. But the therapist could talk to them and maybe give us some communication technique, because I was willing to stay with this man, even knowing he was a narcissist. I was going to stay with him anyway, because I was just going to take the good with the bad. I was just, or the bad with the good. I was just going to do it. But we needed to improve our communication. That's where I landed by the end, that I felt like, okay, well, he's a narcissist. I know it. I think he knows it, but he doesn't want to admit it. And we're going to go to therapy, and we're going to learn how to at least communicate, because that's the problem. And of course, none of that happened. Of course, none of that happened at all.
So the longer you stay with the narcissist, the harder it is the harder it's going to be to get away from them. So if someone can spot, okay, so let's say you start dating someone, all right, or I'm going to use that as an example. So you start dating someone, and then you start seeing narcissistic traits in them. I mean, is it something that you're going to know? I mean, how long did it take you, for instance, Wendy and Simple Eyes, to realize that
Way too
you
long.
were in a narcissistic relationship?
Way too long. Way
Okay.
too long.
Not till after I was divorced and people told me.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
He's like,
I actually
started
remember
talking
reading
about it.
something. I remember reading something because I thought that I was maybe being abused. And so I looked up abuse, right? And I looked up like mental abuse and emotional abuse, and I looked those up. And that's how I found like narcissistic, like the cycle of abuse that narcissists do. And when I started reading, and I just it was all self-education. Once I started educating myself on this, it became quite clear that that's what I was dealing with. And every road led me down to the same, what do I do? What do I do? And it was always the same, no contact. There is no cure. There's no amount of therapy that's going to fix it. There's no amount of begging and pleading that's going to fix it. You have to cut them off and never look back.
Okay, so now that you've been through, now the women, Wendy and Simple Eyes and everyone that's in the chat, now that you have been in a relationship with a narc, can you immediately spot another one?
I did,
I think I
but
can.
I don't know if others can. Yeah.
I think I can. Yeah.
Mhm.
But does that mean that I wouldn't be susceptible? I don't know. I've never gone to therapy for it myself and healed in that way. I've never done that, and I probably should. But I can definitely spot them.
Yeah.
In my opinion, I can spot them for sure.
But if they started behaving the same way, started having the same kind of traits as the person that you're with, using the same kind of language on you,
Mm-hmm.
you would be able to spot it, right? I mean,
Yeah, you'll spot it way faster. Like, I had a guy come in my life right a month after my divorce, and he wanted to finish me off, basically, because I'm vulnerable at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
My whole world has collapsed. I'm in another country. I've got a toddler. I can't speak the language of the country, and this person comes and wants to rescue me, but only if I do exactly what they say, dress exactly how they say,
oh no,
give to
they had
them
a dress?
whatever they want. Oh, everything. I have to keep my apartment, not their apartment, my apartment. If we're dating, I have to keep that apartment clean to their standards, although they don't live there. I need to raise my child to their standards. They get to determine if I feel good about myself or not. And this person was outwardly narcissistic, so like they weren't hiding it. And I must jump into bed at every whim, which they didn't get because, once bitten, twice shy. Get the hell away from me.
Right. They say that a big red flag is when somebody comes in super strong, like we're soulmates, right? Yeah. That's a huge red flag. And of course, for me, that was beautiful. I loved that. To me, that was like a romantic story, fairy tale type of thing. I didn't know that that was a terrible red flag. I was totally naive. I had no idea. I'd never dealt with a narcissist before in my life. I'd never dealt with abuse like that in my life. Pink asked me, Wendy, do you think if you knew what a narcissist was, would you have known sooner or accepted he was one? I don't know. I hope so. But, it's hard to say, honestly, but I would hope so. I would hope so, because there has to be a way for us to teach people and warn people how to stay away from this, because it feels like it's becoming more and more prevalent now than it ever was. I'm telling you, when I first started with this, I had no idea this was a thing. I did not know. And now I feel like I'm hearing the word narcissist every other day.
Yeah.
The narcissism is on the rise in society, though.
Is it?
It is.
Yeah.
Our society has now fostered narcissism so much that there is way too many narcissists out there. And social media does not help.
Yeah.
Well, it says
social media. I was going to say that has to have something to do with social media, right? Because that's a huge thing, right? Yeah.
Well, look at all the fake, like when you go to Instagram and you see these people with these fake lifestyles trying to sell you something with their perfect bodies, their perfect vacations. Oh, I'm entitled to that. I should have that.
Right.
Okay. It says as of 2008, 6.2% of the U.S. population has narcissistic personality disorder.
Yeah.
And the world population is 7.5 billion. The U.S. population is approximately 325 million. So, and out of the U.S. population would be 325 million. So that just gives you, and that's from 2008. So it could be more now.
So Pink said that her first clue for her is possessiveness, and that is a huge one. That is absolutely huge when they're really overly possessive of you. But to me, at the time when I was in it, it felt wonderful. I felt like he was a protector and a guardian, and would slay dragons for me, and wanted me and loved me so much that he just couldn't believe, he couldn't breathe without me. Like, that's how I took that. I didn't take it as you're sucking the life out of me. I can't breathe. You're totally crushing me. I didn't see any of that. All I saw was, this man must love me so much that he can't spend a moment without being in contact with me. And if he's not in contact with me, and he gets mad at me, if he's not in contact with me and he gets mad at me, that's my fault, because I didn't keep in contact with him. That's totally what happens.
Oh, I'm on here?
Yeah, you're on. You're on.
Why am I sideways?
I don't know. I was just going to say.
Oh, you are sideways.
You're coming sideways at me, Leanna.
Oh my God. Well, that's all right. How is everybody? Wendy, you're getting so much great information. It's amazing.
Oh, good. I'm so glad, because I feel like this might be all over the place, but I've been very passionate about this topic for a lot of years, and I wanted to do this panel, and I asked Diane if we could just do it, because, and I know they know that with the climate in our YouTube community at the moment, that people are gonna be like, oh, they're talking about me. No, I'm not. Like, none of my stories have anything to do with you. My stories are personal to me because of what I have gone through in my life. And I wish that somebody had been out there to teach me about this 11 years ago. And I might have been able to save, many things about my life.
A heartache. Because they say that people that go through relationships with these people have PTSD. For, like literally PTSD.
And I think that I do, to be honest. I really do. Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
I do.
And I was in a relationship with somebody who was emotionally abusive. I don't know if he was a narcissist, but he was an emotional abuser. I think he fit to me more like borderline personality disorder, but I can't obviously diagnose anybody. But it was like torture. It was just, and that's another thing. People use narcissist, and it could be a variety of different things in the same cluster, so it doesn't really matter what label you put on them. They're emotional abusers. Yes. It all comes down to
and it really all comes down to the same. It all comes down to the same exit strategy. Run away. Exactly. Do not try to fix it, because you can't. You cannot fix this. This cannot be fixed.
Crazy. You really can't. I was listening to you guys the whole time, but there was one thing that was interesting about them going to therapy and whether this could be fixed. From what I've read, they can't first of all, they usually don't seek out therapy, so it's very hard for them to diagnose and say, give like a statistic of how many people there are where, borderline or somebody might be more apt to go to therapy to try to fix themselves. They say that narcissists don't. And when they do, when they go to marriage counseling, what they do is they manipulate the marriage counselor. And
They do.
they
And
learn how to manipulate. You said
yes,
something
and
very similar.
well, they pick up the keywords. They pick up the keywords,
Right.
and the terminology or whatever, and the behaviors. They learn the behaviors that they need to show to act like they're cured, right? So that they won't get go in trouble again. So that's what they learn in therapy. So it actually makes them a better narcissist. Better in their terms, not ours. Worse for us, better for them,
right?
Because they become an even better manipulator. They become an even better manipulator. Now, Tina asked a question, and I'm going to try to answer it. But I'm worried about how I'm going to answer this, Tina. So let me just try. Or not Tina, Tink. Sorry, Tink. She says, "How can you let one go knowing they will just latch on and hurt another?" Now, let me just say this. I want you to ask yourself, Tink, if that's your excuse for staying, because that's what I did. That's what I did. Yeah. I came up with all kinds of scenarios. I can handle him is what I used to say. I can handle him. Some other poor woman can't. I can take it. Some other poor woman can't. So let me just take it. He's my soulmate after all. God, I'm going to cry. He's my soulmate after all, right? I can take it. This poor other woman on the street isn't his soulmate, and she won't be able to take it. So I'm actually saving the world, right? I'm actually helping by taking this in. No,
you're saving
that's
humanity.
A lie. Yeah. Right? I'm saving humanity. That's a lie. That's a lie that I told myself so that I would be able to stay with him. So
you don't have to worry about the next person.
Ask yourself, Tink, if that's what you're doing. And be honest with yourself, because it's not an easy question to ask yourself, hon.
Because someone will come along and be able to manage that narcissist. My ex-husband's wife manages him. I can't.
Yep.
My boss is married to a narcissist, and she can manage him.
Yep. My brother's wife, who I believe is a female narcissist, she's been married twice. My brother's her third marriage. So he might be the one that works because he's so, what's the word? He lets everything roll off his back so easy, and he just goes with everything. And he's very, why can't I think of the word right now? But you know what I'm saying? So he might be the one that manages her, because whoever falls in line and does exactly what they want to do, that's the person that they want to be with.
Right.
They want to
and what's funny is that mine would always tell me that that's the opposite of what he wanted. He didn't want somebody to just lay down and be passive and do whatever he wanted. He liked me supposedly because I was strong and I stood up for myself, and I was a strong, independent, intelligent woman, right? Supposedly that's all stuff that with great qualities. No, what he ended up with was a lap dog. That's what he wanted, like a dog that's in the corner and comes when they're called and goes back to the corner when you're done. Like that's what you want. That's what you want, and that's what he got. And
mine wanted a mother. Mine wanted a mother, and I refused to be the mother.
Right.
And he got his mother. Like,
but
take
Leanna,
it.
Leanna, though, from watching your series, your brother wasn't like that before he was with the woman. He's completely changed. She's changed him into something else.
Well, that's another thing, and that's something that I've been like reading about. That's kind of like where I'm going into the next, line, because I do know other people who are kind of in the same situation as me, and I talk to them, and they start wondering, well, is this person a narcissist? Maybe, like, was my brother a narcissist? Maybe I didn't know it. Maybe I just didn't know my whole life. And I know somebody else who their sister's in a similar relationship, and they say the same things. Maybe my sister's a narcissist. And really, no, that's not what it is. Wendy said it before. It's called trauma bonding. And they almost start to, I don't know if this happens to everybody, but they start to almost take on the characteristics of the narcissist, and they start to behave like them and act like them. And, my brother, to see him acting the way he's acting, and these weird phone calls and everything, I'm not used to that. That's not the person I knew. So it's brainwashing. They do it by fear, threatening, they have all different methods. I mean, I really went out and branched out and read about brainwashing and all cults and all these different things, because it's all the same mechanics. they will do it the same way. And I don't know, Wendy, and I'm sorry, Simple Eyes, I'm Liana. I didn't get to say hi to you. But do you guys feel like you made a lot of excuses for this person all the time? Like for your family, did they try to isolate you from your family and your friends?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Right.
I wasn't
Yeah.
allowed to spend time with my friends. All of my friends, I lost many relationships. Thankfully, those have been repaired, but
Mhm.
it took many years, at least 4 years.
Right.
And it was, he convinced me that they didn't really love me, that he was
Isn't
the
that
only one that
crazy?
really loved me. He convinced me that my children didn't love me. Oh, God.
Wow. It's all right.
Yeah,
Deep
no,
breath.
that was the same.
Yeah. That my kids didn't love me.
And you see what happens,
And and what kind of a mother believes that, though? Like, who believes that? I was such a mess.
one that's been it's not, see, and I've been listening to you guys. Stop blaming yourselves for being good-hearted people, because it's not your fault, it's their fault. They're the evil fucks, not you guys.
And they
Sorry,
go after
Diane.
good-hearted people.
Exactly.
That's
They
their
prey
target.
on people
Yeah.
like that, and you're just trying to please somebody.
I
They
just
go
wanted
after
him to be happy. That's all I wanted. I just wanted him to be
Exactly.
happy and love me. That's it.
It's like they say, like heroin, you do heroin one time and then you do it another time and another time, and that you never get that same high that you got the first time you did it, right? So they say you're chasing a dragon. When you're in a relationship with a narcissist, you're chasing the dragon. You're constantly chasing that person that you first fell in love with.
Definitely.
And-
Definitely. And you stay for those good moments to come back. You keep thinking,
Right.
if we could just have, you keep trying to set up this perfect scenario so that you guys can have just a good evening together. So then it'll, those good moments will be there again. And it never lasts.
All right, I
It
just have to
never
interrupt
does.
for a minute. I hear crickets, but I also hear a clicking sound. Is that
That's
coming from
me.
someone's mic? Are you
Yeah,
clicking?
the crickets are probably me, and the clipping, I bet you, is my bracelets. I have bracelets on. Let me
Oh,
take them
okay.
off.
All right. So we hear crickets. That's okay. We love the crickets, but that clicking
All right.
is driving me crazy.
Yeah, I'm outside because it's like impossible to talk in my house.
No,
right now.
that's
My
fine.
son
We
up.
don't mind the crickets. I love crickets. As long
All
as they don't
right,
get
let
in
me
my
get my
house.
bracelet.
If they get in my house,
Yeah,
then
no.
then I don't.
We're going to have a problem.
No crickets.
So
But-
Tink says,
Dance
anytime,
party when they get in.
Tink says, anytime I go out with friends, I have to prepare myself. I know there will be a fight when I get home. Yeah, Tink.
See, that's not normal.
That's not
No.
normal behavior, honey. That's not normal.
No.
And then what happens is you adopt this avoidance behavior, because I know I did that in my relationship, where I just avoided going out with friends and talking to certain people because I didn't want to deal with this shit that came after.
So then I cut off people. I cut off important people in my life. I didn't do anything with my, with friends or family. I just didn't do anything with them anymore because I didn't want to make him upset and deal with the abandonment, because that was his punishment for me, was always abandonment. So I didn't want to deal with the abandonment because that was a huge trigger for me. That was huge for me, and it was extremely painful for me. So because I didn't want to deal with that, I would stop. I would do everything I.
Ooh, what happened?
Wendy cut out.
Yes,
He cut out again.
It would be so bothered if I did that.
Wait, say that again. I think you cut out for a second.
Oh, I just said that because his punishment for me was abandonment, and every time I did something that he didn't like, he would start with the abandonment stuff, right, and silent treatment and all of that, and so what would happen was I would start avoiding doing things with family members, doing things with friends, because I didn't want to deal with the punishment. I didn't want to be punished, so I did what he asked, even though he didn't even have to ask. He didn't even ask me to not. And then he would say things like, "I never told you you can't go out with your friends. Of course you can."
Right.
But if I did, if I did go out with them, I would be punished. But then he would say, "I never told you you can't do that." So then he would gaslight me into thinking that I was crazy. And that's your choice. Those are your decisions. Those are your choices, not mine. I didn't make you do that.
That is insane. My ex used to do the same thing to me. He would do we would be fighting until like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning. I was in college at the time, thank God I didn't have kids or anything at the time, but that I went through this, but he would keep me up. I mean, just going in these circles of the same argument. Nothing would ever get settled. It was just like these circular conversations.
Yes.
I would feel like I was on a hamster wheel and you're going through the same thing. And it's like, I don't know what the answer is, because I try every which way to get out of it. and then it's just you just can't please them. It's just
Not at all.
when they get tired, that's when they're going to give in, you
Mhm.
know, or let it go, I guess, of you doing it. Here's another thing I wanted to ask you. Did you guys feel like your ex or narcissist was even jealous of things in your life and not necessarily people?
Yes.
Like, say if you had a
Yeah.
hobby like painting or reading books or
Yes.
anything that took your time away.
Oh my
from
gosh,
them.
yes. I
Yeah.
was
That was everything he hated.
everything. Yes.
I started painting
That's-
again only now, after 15 years,
Wow.
because of how much he took away. Because
Isn't
I'm a
that
creative
amazing?
person, and so is he.
Right.
But I'm naturally, like, I don't have to fake creativity where he has to work at it.
Right.
He has the basic technical skills, but he doesn't like have the mindset to think out of the box and just be automatically creative.
Wow.
Because he's into music, he can play piano.
But God forgive me if I didn't praise him up one side and down the other if he ever did anything like that.
Right.
Because if he, whatever he put out there that was an accomplishment on his end, I would have to jump up and down and, stop all the presses and be, be applauding him. Right. But if I had an accolade come my way or something exciting happen in my life that wasn't even necessarily related to another person, but just an event, that would be a huge problem. And he would minimize it. It would always be, that's not a big deal.
Wow.
It wouldn't be a big deal at all to him. And so I would kick it under the carpet. Like I would sweep it under the rug because it would be, I knew that he wouldn't be proud of me. And it was always my goal for him to be proud of me. I wanted him so bad to tell me that he was proud of me. And he knew that. So would really be very sparing about the amount of times he would tell me he was proud of me. That was very, few and far between because he knew that that was like one of the biggest rewards he could give me. And so he would be very,
it was like the carrot he dangled over your head, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I never heard anything positive.
Never.
Or good.
Wow.
It was destroy, take away. And I was at, see, mine's a little different because I was in a different country. So I was at his mercy.
Yes.
Financially and
oh my God.
And with language, I had to fight for everything. And this is a dude I had to take to court, but I also had to take actions to get my key back from the house so he wouldn't show up drunk and crawl into bed with me and my son when we were divorced.
Oh my gosh.
Oh
wow.
my God.
Because he was
That's
that
scary.
way. And he had a girlfriend. He left me for another woman, an older woman. They were having an affair. He took my, what is it, America, but like your child benefit money your child gets every month from the government.
Right.
So he took that and he spent it on her and they went away to Germany.
Oh my God.
Wow.
But that was for the family. I'm like, we're not even together.
Right.
And I had to do that. And then the anger comes because like you have to put a third party in when you have a kid if you want to get through it. My suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a third party. He threatened me constantly when I'm like, I think we need a mediator because I can't by myself because his way or the highway, right?
Right.
Like I had to wait 10 years quietly and patiently before I could take him finally to court and take custody away.
Wow.
And I only won because I let him talk and I let him hang himself. But I had to prove it. It took 10 years.
Wow.
It was terrible. And all those 10 years, this guy never stopped. He got married. He had kids and never stopped. The screaming, the rude person, because I would. My job was irrelevant. No such thing as going to school, going to college, becoming, a chef, a cook. Nothing. That didn't matter. I was nothing. That didn't exist. That's all fictional in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got into my son.
So Dana is calling that intermittent approval, which is it's like the back and forth between love bombing and punishment, right? Love bombing and punishment. Yeah. My particular punishment was abandonment, but others, have different punishments. Some are physical even. But my particular punishment.
Us with our basic needs. Our basic needs were our punishment.
Wow.
As in food.
Wow.
As in shelter, as in transportation, everything. The basic needs was our punishment.
Wow.
So I'm telling this because this is really hard to talk about, but he did deprive me of food while I was pregnant and after.
Yeah.
And Dana, there was no food in the fridge.
Dana, I hear what you're saying. Dana's saying abandonment is the root threat. Is it abandonment or is it withdrawal? So like I feel like the two opposing sides are love bombing and withdrawal. And whatever
And
you're withdrawing,
right.
withdrawing personal needs, withdrawing love, withdrawing attention, withdraWing what, you know, accolades, withdrawing whatever you're withdrawing, but you're taking it.
Well,
You're
they'll just give the
or
silent treatment.
withholding. Is it withholding? Maybe that's the better word, withholding.
Yeah.
Same. She's saying, okay. I just want to make sure I
I didn't
understand it
feel
correctly.
abandoned by him. I didn't feel like he abandoned me. I know he did, but that wasn't what was upsetting about it. It was that he lied so bad the whole entire relationship. My marriage happened because him and his mom got together and talked and said when we were getting married, and then came and told me, well, this is when we're getting married.
Oh my God.
You're going to your consulate and you're getting this piece of paper and you're coming back and you two are getting married before this baby is born.
Wow.
There was no love. There was no
Oh,
decision
boy.
making on my part. I was not a person. He would leave me alone for 5 days with no food and an infant. And
Oh my
I would have
God.
to text message his parents to give me money because there was no food. There was no money. He took all the money out of the bank account I got. He would scream if I didn't give it to him. Like, it was so much different than if he had been in my country with me.
Wow.
Half of this he would have gotten away with.
Right.
And he made me believe that no one was going to come help me. I was not going to be able to get flight tickets out of there. I was not going to be able to leave. No man would ever want me. Like, why would any guy like me?
Right.
Yeah, he told me that too.
Stupid.
He told me that too, that nobody else would ever want me because I was such a horrible, crazy person. Well, I wasn't
Yeah.
crazy when you found
Wow.
me, dude. I was totally fine. I'm only crazy now that
Now
you
I'm
ruined
crazy.
me.
Thanks. Yeah.
Now you
So,
broke me.
if I'm
but
so
other than
crazy,
that, I was
why
fine.
are you trying to keep me here?
I
If I'm
know.
all psycho and I'm all this, why do you want me? Why are
Because
you
we're
keeping
soulmates,
me here?
of course. Because we're soulmates, of course. Of course.
Someone wanted me to just repeat those stats that I said before. Again, this is as of 2008. 6.2% of the U.S. population has narcissistic personality disorder.
And
So-
that's like that's a hard statistic for them to even come up with, because I was
Well,
watching
that's
this
10 years ago. I mean, think
Right.
about it. We're 11
Well,
years
that's what I'm saying. It's from 10 years ago. So, you know,
Yeah. Social
there's
media has
probably more.
definitely brought it out more. I mean, if you go on Instagram, we all see these people that are just taking constant pictures of themselves, and that's part of it, you know. But there's there's to be a personality disorder. There's, if you look up online, I can't do it right now, but there's like a list of I think 5 different things that you have to have over a period of time. You know, it's not just.
Well, don't you
okay,
have that,
well,
Wendy? Didn't Jenna send that to you? The traits that a narcissist has to have.
it's in the DSM.
Yeah, I have
whatever,
the DSM stuff right now. You want me to screen share it?
Yeah, screen share it.
Okay, so let's screen share this.
All right, let me,
I'm gonna need you to I'm gonna need you to present me
yeah, as soon as I see you
here.
do that,
I
I'll
just-
be
I-
good.
Yes.
I just want to say something too, because I look at Wendy, and Wendy, I think you're such like a strong chick, a tough chick, and it goes to show that this could happen to even the
anybody.
strongest people out there,
Yes.
because the way that these people come in the very beginning and love bomb you, it's very easy to get blinded by love and not notice it, not see the red flag.
Right.
And I'm sure you know now, just like I did when I met somebody after my relationship. As soon as one of those little red flags went off, I was out. I was like, bye. I don't want to even take my chances because I'm not going through that again.
Right.
But you know what? There are people that attract narcissists and they date them over and over and over again.
Oops.
You know, it can happen to anybody. So
I hope I never
keep
meet
hearing-
another one as long as I live. No, thank you. I will be single the rest of my days. I have no desire to date another one for the rest of my life. No, thank you.
It's just that it can happen to anybody. You know, I hate hearing people saying, "Oh, I'm stupid. I'm stupid." You're not stupid. You know, nobody's stupid for falling for these people. It happens to everybody, anybody.
Okay, Killer Crimes want to know, is this a learned behavior?
No. Well, yes.
Some
no.
people, but no.
Okay,
It's
it
a-
can
they-
be. I guess it can be if you're
Well-
raised by a narcissistic parent, like a
Yes.
mother,
Yes.
and you're the what? What was that?
Golden
term?
child. Golden
Golden
child.
child.
Golden child. Yes, then it can be learned.
They say that it happens from either overindulgence, right, or extreme neglect. So it's kind of, you know, it's weird. It could happen from either way. So got two extreme ends of the spectrum, and they say that's what creates narcissists, you know.
Mhm.
So yeah, I guess if you're being overindulged as a child and being given everything you wanted, you know, but maybe not given love or that kind of attention from your parents, it could create a narcissist, which is kind of weird to think about, but it happens.
I just want to see how this looks. Okay, so you guys can see all this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can't see the chat. I keep putting the chat over here, but every time I click on it, it disappears. So yeah, I'm not looking at the chat a lot. But here there are 9 over here on the left-hand side. Over here, this is this on this side on the right-hand side is narcissistic personality disorder. That's not what we're talking about. No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. Are we?
That's what we're
I
talking
was like,
about.
wait, I thought that's what we were talking about.
I'm sorry, I'm an idiot.
Well,
I thought, what's the difference between these two things? I thought one of them was
This
They
is criteria.
revised it in 2011, so the
okay. So should I do the 2011 one? They're probably. I
Yeah.
have to imagine they're similar, but
they
I'm sorry. I
probably are.
thought this one on the other side was totally different because I was looking at 9.
Wait, hold
and
on. Can you scroll up for a second? Because I know the most recent one says that there's there needs to be 5. Hold on, essential features.
It has to be 5 out of the 9.
Yeah,
But every
5.
list is something different.
If you go
This
by
one's
the
a lot
DSM,
more complicated on this
that's
side.
a standard.
This one is a little more easy to understand. I think this is more layman's terms on this side.
Yeah.
So let's
Yeah.
just focus on this for now on this side. But look this stuff up. Here, I'll put this in the chat. I'll put this in the chat so you guys can look this up yourself. That's not the chat. Oh yeah, it is. Where's my chat at? Hang on.
Bye. Oh, I better leave on my
I'll
clock.
put it in the chat for you guys.
Sorry.
Don't worry about it.
And mods, can you guys pick this up? And Jenna, can you put that link in the chat for people so that they can keep looking that up if they want? Pretty please.
I find it fascinating to read about this stuff because it's so amazing to me that they could fit all these people right into this little category, and they all do the same things.
Yes.
They all do the same things. It's so weird to me that
it was amazing to me that I could read this stuff and it'd be bang on
right
exactly what my relationship was, and I had no idea.
Right. Well, when I originally found this, I went through an emotionally abusive relationship and just didn't know there was a name for
Right.
it.
Same.
Whatever he had, and
Same.
when I started reading, I was like, oh my God, it
Yeah.
all makes sense now,
So the first one has a grandiose sense of self-importance, like exaggerating achievements and talents, expects to be recognized as superior. Number 2 is preoccupied with fantasies of unlimited success and power and brilliance and beauty or ideal love. And that was my big one. Ideal love was huge. That's how he got me. I didn't care about his success or power. I didn't care about that because I felt like I had my own success and power. But
Right.
ideal love, that was huge to me. That was the one thing that he got me with. We're soulmates. We're soulmates. We're made for each
Right.
other.
In the first one too, it says expects to be recognized without commensurate achievements, meaning that they want to be, recognized for great things, even though they don't, might not have the schooling for it or whatever.
They haven't even actually done anything that great. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly. Okay, number 3, believes that he or she is special and unique and can only be understood or should associate with other special or high status people. And that was huge for us too. That was big. People just didn't understand him.
Mine's a professor of philosophy now, so we know what that's like.
Oh
Wow.
Wow.
That is
It's
scary.
insane.
God, that terrifies me.
You can't even have a normal conversation with him. It's all
Wow.
argumentative.
Wow.
Number 4, requires excessive admiration. Yes, and excessive is a good word because it's never enough. I'm not looking at the chat right now, y'all, so if you're talking to me, I apologize. I'm not seeing it. It's never enough. Excessive is a good word. We all like to be complimented. We all like admiration. That's not a narcissist. Excessive admiration, where they cannot get enough no matter what you say, it's not good enough. That's different.
Right.
So it's important to remember that, because just, liking compliments, that's normal. We all like to be complimented. Everybody likes to be admired and told that they're doing, good in the world, or, that they're good at something. That's just normal. That's human nature. Excessive admiration, where if you don't do it good enough, then you get punished. That's a problem.
And you never
Mhm.
do it good enough.
And you will never do it good enough. Yeah, you won't. In the beginning, you will.
You'll never live up.
Right.
Yeah.
But
You'll never live to their expectations.
never. Number 5, has a sense of entitlement, like unreasonable expectations of especially favorable treatment or automatic compliance with his or her expectations. And we've talked about that too. That kind of, if you like how I wouldn't go to the movies because I knew that I would be in trouble later.
Right.
And he had that unreasonable expectation of me. And
Right.
I completely complied automatically to the point where he would start calling me out on it. I didn't tell you to do that. That's not something I told you to do. Yeah, you're right. I just did it because I knew.
You knew it was going to happen.
I knew what would happen if I didn't.
And that's like my brother's wife. She thinks she was entitled to my mom's, house, her money, everything, even though they didn't talk, or have a relationship for years leading up to my mom's death. They only had started talking a couple of months prior. But because she was married to my brother, she had just as much right as I did. That's the sense of entitlement right there.
Right. Is interpersonally exploitive, like takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own needs, his or her own ends. And my person's motto used to be, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that I can totally see this in that it would always had a guy for something. There's always a guy who could help him do whatever, or a girl. That was my favorite. It was always some girl that was able to do for him. And it was always, she's nothing. She's just, whatever, taking pictures of me. She's just doing this. She's just doing that. And it was never anything for me to be jealous over. But of course, if I was the least bit insecure about it, then that was a problem, of course. But yes, very exploitive of different people. And it was always, it's not what you know, it's who you know. Number 7, lacks empathy, is unwilling to recognize or identify with the feelings and needs of others. And I think this is a big one for most of us. We all know what that means.
But this one I want to say is really important. This also means intimate. Like when you're sexual with this person, it will lack empathy. If you, some of them do at least. I've heard they come up really passionate.
Mine
but
was
you could be. Yeah, mine was like you could be anything. There's no intimacy or empathy or care on any level, even intimately.
Yeah.
Which is frightening when you're with someone.
Mine was physically wasn't a problem. It was emotionally that was the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So like I don't want to get into my physical stuff. Never mind. Why am I telling you this? I don't need to tell you guys that. I think I've shared enough. I don't need to tell you.
When you can't talk about that kind of stuff.
About my sexual proclivities. I don't need to be telling people that.
But it's not limited to just the empathy we all know. There's more empathy and intimacy required for him to have.
Arenas. Yeah, there's different arenas for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Can I just say something? Aren't there a lot of men who are not narcissists that can just, go to bed with you and go to bed with you and not have any empathy and not
I'm sure this is a different kind. No, this is a different kind.
That's like
this is like this is a totally different kind, but it's a totally different topic.
So it's essentially being a jerk.
Yeah.
Okay.
You'll know if it's happening to you.
Yeah, you should. Well, there's one more thing I want to say about this. And I read this when I first started reading about narcissists. It says there's a test, okay? When you go out to dinner with them, see how they treat people like the waitress or waiter or something.
Like because, yes, I've heard that.
The way that they talk to people and treat people out in public, if they're rude or, just uncaring, that's like a huge indicator right there, because they see, it just shows that they see people as beneath them, and they, again, lack empathy. They don't put themselves in other people's shoes and know how to treat other people in any way.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Just adding that.
All right. Number 8 is often envious of others or believes that others are envious of him or her. And this was huge for us because he not only was envious of other people, but constantly believed that other people were jealous of him. Always thought that. And I would have to I would have to play along and be like, yeah, they totally are jealous of you. Yes, you're right. They are. They're totally.
We hear that a lot on YouTube. Oh, they're just jealous.
Yeah, they're just jealous.
They're just jealous of us.
Sometimes they're not jealous, but it's all right.
Okay.
Yeah. But all right. But yes, that's a big one for narcissists. And
a covert is like that too. It's just they're hiding it.
Right.
A covert narcissist, it has it. They're just hiding it because mine was so jealous that, but you didn't really realize it at first because he knew how to hide it.
Yeah.
But it comes out in little quips. It comes out in little derogatory things.
Or you can tell that that's what the issue is.
Because they're all
Oh,
deeply insecure. That's why they're
Yeah.
all deeply
Mine's jealous
insecure.
mine was jealous because his friends had picked up a chick from the bar and they both banged her that evening. I'm like, what?
Oh my
Wow.
God.
You're married. What is wrong with you? This is something that he was jealous of.
Wow.
Yeah. And then number 9 is shows arrogant, haughty behaviors or attitudes. And so in order for someone to be identified as a narcissist, they have to meet 5 out of the 9 of these qualifications or of these, these qualifying factors.
Okay, so how many did your person meet?
Mine? All 9.
All 9. Oh my God. Jackpot.
12 out of 9. Let's add 3 more onto there. All 9. All 9. Easily all 9.
Oh my.
Wow.
Yeah. I would say all 9.
Yep. All 9 for sure.
Wow.
Crazy.
And there's a lot of people
who believed him. Not as crazy as that. Anyway, I'm going to stop screen sharing that. But the link is in the chat if you guys want to check that out for yourself. Because, I want you guys to look this stuff up. Educate yourself, guys. Please look this stuff up. Educate yourself on this.
Join a support group if you can.
And that's the thing that I have not done. I have not done the aftercare stuff. I have not done that. I have not gone to therapy for this. I have not, other than, learning about this, talking with other people that have experienced this, etc. I've not done any actual therapy. I really don't want to. I know that's horrible. I really don't want
to.
You can start in a private, I'm in a private Facebook group for narcissistic survivors, and it's across the board, whether it's from the family or the partner.
Okay.
And those people there were enough because they also gave me resources to, for me, there was a sexual component that was off with this person that I was totally confused by. And previous relationships didn't have that, so it messed me up seriously badly. But they sent me information where I was able to go read about it so I could put it in perspective.
Right.
And see exactly what I was dealing with, because it's so much deeper and so much more scarier when you start reading about it, but then people help you through it. You're not alone once you're in those groups.
Right. No, I know. And it has been really helpful for me to talk to other people. So it might be similar to what you're doing, to talk with other people and share, listen to their stories and let them hear mine and compare notes, I guess. Oh my gosh, I'm not the only person in the world. I'm not crazy. It feels good to know that, as awful as this is, that I didn't imagine this. This is a real thing. I really was involved with a narcissist. I really did experience abuse. I didn't imagine this. This is real. And, and to be able to get past that, breaking that trauma bond is really hard. I hope that I have. I sometimes still wonder if I have. But that's, that's where I'm at now, is in the recovery stage. How do you get your life back after this?
It's hard.
Amber wants to know, what's the difference between histrionic and a narc?
Histrionic is somebody, I believe, that's an attention whore. You know? So they're constantly have to be in the spotlight all the time. Yeah, exactly. There's I think it's histrionic, borderline personality disorder, narcissistic personality disorder, sociopath or antisocial personality disorder, and psychopathy. It's all in the same group called cluster B, and they all share traits from each other. But then they have their own special, things that make it specific to that. So histrionic.
So can they be a narc and histrionic and have histrionic?
Yep.
Okay.
Comorbidity, that's what they call it. So you can have more than one of these disorders. You could be bipolar and be a narcissist. You know, there's the combinations are endless. It's like
Thank you,
scary.
Tana.
Very scary.
Okay,
Wendy,
so,
how long have you been out of this relationship, if you don't mind me asking?
I think I went no contact for the last time because I had gone no contact before.
Right, it happens.
And then went back, of course.
Hoovered. You were hoovered.
I was hoovered, yes, and
Mhm.
love bombed again and fell for it again, you know, because he's my
Yep.
soulmate, y'all. He's my soulmate. So I went
Yep.
back again. I went no contact again last year before Christmas.
Oh, so this is recent.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
recent.
man.
So
for
it hasn't
you.
even been a full year. Yeah.
And Jenna, is it?
Jody.
Or Jody, I'm sorry. I think you said
It's
Jenna.
okay.
How long has it been for you?
I've been, well, I have a child with him, but it's been 15 years, the whole thing.
Okay.
But we just got back in contact with him after 8 months.
Wow.
So we went the last 8 months with, he cut us off.
Wow. Wow.
Well, I took custody away from him and humiliated him in court. Well, he did it himself. I mean, it's a
Well,
funny
he
story.
deserved it.
He deserved it. And the judges, they don't take that very kindly when a narcissist gets up there and tries to tell the judge how to do his job. That does
Yep.
not go over very well.
No. That's
No.
what happened with my brother. I don't know if you followed my story. But
Yeah, everyone, if you're not watching Makeup Mobster or you're not sub to her, please sub to her because she tells the whole story when evil
yeah,
entered her life, and then of course it goes to grief. But
grief.
it's a really very interesting story to listen to about when this woman came into her brother's life and how everything changed.
How destructive they
Yes.
are to the people and families. And but my thing is, she did the same thing when we were settling my mom's estate. She started to insult the attorneys, and that's when and if you guys follow, from
Can
here
you
on
type
out,
in the chat,
my
Makeup
story.
Mobster?
No, I don't even have the chat. I can't even see
Oh,
it.
okay. I'll get her link. Hold on a second, guys. I'll get
Yeah.
it. Keep
But
talking.
she
I'll find
started
it.
she thought she was smarter than the attorneys, and then they really
Yeah.
started to get insulted by it. I mean, there was one meeting she sent my brother, and he could be a little, my brother could be a little, he's very smart, he's very intelligent, so he could be kind of condescending, but she sent him with an outline of what to talk about during this meeting. And he was so arrogant during this meeting, and the attorneys really got, pissed off at him, because it's like, you're not going to listen. We go to school for however many years to do this as our job.
Yeah.
You're not an attorney. You're not going to come in here and tell us how to do our jobs. And she would write in emails, if your attorney was giving you good advice and blah 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 blah. How do you know what an attorney would tell me? And that's the thing. They think they're smarter than the judge or the attorney, and they end up showing themselves. Because, they piss people off in that way. It's insulting.
They don't keep friends for a long time.
No.
That was the other thing with him, is that he was constantly on this rotation of friends.
Always.
And
Always.
because people were sick of being treated the way that they were being treated.
Right.
And so that's another sign. When you can't keep friends, you can't keep any of the, when you can't keep, friends, I think that's a sign.
Huge
myself.
Sign.
I think it is.
And you know what the thing is?
You don't have healthy relationships.
Each friend has a use. That's why. It's not because, they really have a bond. We have bonds with people and friendships with people for a certain reason. But, they have people in their lives for very specific reasons.
Well, that was one of the criteria, right? That was one of the criteria. Let me read it again for you guys. Interpersonally exploitive, takes advantage of others to achieve his or her own ends. That's interpersonally exploitive, means that each person in their life is there for a reason. And once he has no use for you anymore, you are discarded. You are done.
Exactly. It might just be something as simple as like, hey, you drink with me, you party with me, or, whatever it is, whatever that person serves that purpose for that specific amount of time. And then that's it. They're gone. And I've seen that with my brother's wife. She has all these different groups of, these girls that come in and out of her life. And it's because they serve a purpose, at the time, and then they're gone. And it's weird to me. But,
but that's
even with their children.
And that seems normal to them. Which, yes, even with
Right.
his kids, he was like that even with his own children. Yes.
Yeah, I mean, even to go beyond the whole and I heard somebody, a YouTuber, say this one time, as she says, my kids are an extension of ourselves. No, they're not. Your children, when you see a parent like that and they're constantly putting their child up, or the golden child up on this pedestal, bragging about their accomplishments and what they did here and this and that, and then they send this confusing message because behind the scenes they're not like that.
Oh my God.
So
I just
you
realized
get
that that's exactly what he did with his kids. He had one child that was the golden child, the one that he loved more, and the other one he didn't. And everybody knew, even her. She even knew that he didn't love her more. He loved the sister more, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. And
right, because sister probably was more achieved and more of an extension of him,
yes,
so
she looked just like him. That's the thing. She looked just like him. And she had a lot of his personality traits and whatever. And the other one didn't. And so he didn't have a good relationship with her. And I kept trying to I kept finding myself trying to foster that relationship. Like, you take her out to lunch, tell her you love her, tell her you're proud of her, because she was a brainiac and in school and, was super, super smart, versus the other one that wasn't as academically inclined. Right. And not that she wasn't smart, but she wasn't a big genius in school. Right. But this one was, and he didn't relate to that, obviously, because I don't know, for whatever reason, he didn't relate to that. And so he did not have a good relationship with her. I just realized that's exactly what he did with his own kids. Oh my God.
That was one of the things that set me off about my brother's wife, because you would see the daughter, she was young at the time, but she would like brag, oh, she's on the honor roll and this and that. But then she would come over our house and like you would see her Facebook post like, oh, my child, so smart, she made honor roll, she did this, she did that, all her accomplishments. But then when she would come over, she would be like, she's dressed like a slob. Like, who says that about their like 11-year-old child?
He was always very embarrassed of his kids, and if they dare embarrass him, they would get in a lot of trouble. That was always a big deal to him.
Yeah, and it's so crazy because I could tell the daughter feels very uncomfortable around her, and like everybody in my family picked up on this because she looks scared when she's around the mother, and she'll just say these really degrading like things to her in front of everybody. And if you compliment her, if you say something like, oh, your hair looks pretty, she'll be like, that's because I curled it. Like she has to take the compliment. She won't just let her daughter have a compliment. And narcissistic mothers and daughters, forget it, because you're talking there's a competition there. They become jealous of their daughters.
When his golden child had a baby, she had a little boy and he was beautiful, and I remember saying, oh, he's beautiful, and his comment back to me was, he looks like me.
Wow.
that was his comment. Not, you're right, I'm so blessed, my first grandson, I can't believe him, he's a miracle. None of that. He looks like me. Wow. And I was supposed, and I knew my role. I was supposed to say, yes, he does. He's so handsome, just like his grandpa. Like, I'm supposed to say that. Like, I knew it had been 11 years of this, so I knew what my job was.
Right. You get trained. You're like,
I was very well trained. Yes, very well trained. I knew exactly what I was supposed to say. And then when I wouldn't say that on purpose, because I was being a bitch and I didn't want to say that, I'm not going to feed your ego. No, this is about your miracle baby. I don't care what no, he's beautiful. I'm not going to compliment, that's when I was pulling away though. And it was the end. And, I finally was able to go no contact, but yeah, I do remember that. That was what he would say back. He looks like me.
Wow. What made you, I'm just curious, and you don't have to answer this if you want to, either one of you guys, but just what made you finally put your foot down and say, okay, this is it. I'm not living like this anymore. Like, what they say, you broke out of the fog. What got you out of the fog?
I just wasn't happy. I wasn't happy. Okay. I was in a deep chronic depression that I'm still crawling out of. I had no relationship with friends. I had pulled away from friends and family. I was alone. I was alone and miserable. And he needed to go. He just needed to go.
I was sitting at a table with my sisters and my mom visiting them. And it was a trip that he had screamed and yelled that he had gone to work finally for 1 month to pay for my ticket. And I was telling them some of the things that had happened and I thought were normal. And I looked at my mom's face and I just had that moment of, oh my God. there's something wrong.
That.
Like, no, this
Right.
isn't right. And I came home and it ended.
Wow. Wow.
I
I
mean,
had
he
a
picked
similar
up the
experience.
phone when he was in bed with somebody. This is how bad it was
Oh my
during that.
God.
But when I saw my mom's face and knowing what she went through with my father, I was like, oh my God, you need to run.
Wow. Wow.
Small town girl, one win. Have you had troubles with wanting and actually going back over and over again? I did for many years, yes, but not anymore. It's over now, for good now.
That's very common too,
Yeah,
though.
for
That's
many
so
years though, I did
common.
go back many times, many
Right.
times. Yeah.
Right. That's very common.
Hmm.
I had a similar experience. My ex-boyfriend came one night. I mean, we were hanging out with my friends. We were young, and he started flipping out and saying he was gonna fight all my friends. I mean, like literally, he was going after everybody to like beat the shit out of them. And I just got in the car, and you guys know what this is. You just want to like put an end to the embarrassment, I guess. So you just comply, you know. And I got in the car and I just left with him. And the next day, my girlfriend, my best friend, she called my mom up and asked my mom, you know, did I come home last night? Because she was worried about me, you know. And I guess she kind of told my mom what was going on. And when I heard my mom saying it back to me, just like you, it just hit me in a different way. And I was like, I need to end this. Like, this isn't normal. Like, I shouldn't have to have my friends calling my mom up because they're worried that my boyfriend might have killed me. You know, it's not normal. And so then you have to start making an escape plan, which is, you know, hard because, and I'm sure you guys know that if you're married or whatever it is, I can't even imagine. I mean, I was just a girlfriend who didn't have anything in common with him. You know, we didn't share a living space or finances or children or anything, but I was worried for my safety, you know, and his, because he would pull the old, you know, I'm going to kill myself card, which is very common. And because that's their way to, you know, manipulate you and make you feel bad for them. Oh, I can't live without you. And, you know, and I had to like kind of come up with this like careful plan to get away from him. And then it took about a good year or two for me to like get rid of that feeling that he's still watching me and in my head, you know? And that's like a scary thing. So to have to worry about somebody constantly watching you, because he used to like stalk me, you know, even though we were together, he would watch me all the time. And I hated it. So you have to come up with a plan. You can't just leave. That's why people are always like, how come you don't just leave? He's abusive. It don't work like that. When you're in an abusive relationship, you need to come up with a safe plan to get away from the person. You don't just walk away. You know,
Yeah.
they could end up hurting you, hurting your children, hurting your family, hurting themselves, whatever it is, you know? And so that's like an important part of this, you know, that people don't understand. It's not that easy to get away.
Oh, wow. Tink says,
Yeah.
Wendy, I've become very dependent on his existence in my life. While processing this, I ask myself, how do I deal with the void? Tink, it takes time, honey, and I would absolutely recommend that you
Yes.
find some therapy, even though I'm sitting up here telling you that I have not gone to therapy myself. So it's easier said than done. I get that. But
Or a support
or a
group.
support group or something, you need something else. I filled that void with education. I educated myself on this particular subject. I became completely fascinated with the reality that this was a thing. I didn't know this was
Right.
a thing. And so I filled it with that. Thankfully, I was able to repair my relationships with my friends and family and all of that. So I started, you know, trying to hang out with them more often, but it's still hard. I
Right.
still struggle. And now I have, you know, anxiety issues that I didn't ever have before. I have depression issues that I never had before. All of that is still a
Wow.
struggle for me. So even
Yeah.
though I have, you know, people that want to do stuff with me, I struggle with wanting to do stuff. Not necessarily because it's them, but just because I don't even want to do anything. I just want to lay in my bed and not go anywhere. And what, like, I struggle with days like that. So,
Right.
you know, but even so, I know that I'm happier than I was. Even
That's
so.
a that's an important thing because you start realizing too. I know when you go through all that kind of stuff. I filled the void with another guy, which was probably not the best thing in the world, but you start realizing like, wow, it's kind of nice not having this happen and that happen and this happen. And so you'll find you'll get back into the things that you used to do. You're grieving. It's just like grieving the loss of somebody. You know, you got to find yourself again. So you have to go through, you know, get back into things that you used to like when you were a kid, or, you know, if you took classes or photography or gardening or just anything to occupy
Anything.
the time,
Anything.
to fill the void.
Anything is better
And
than
you
this.
will fill it.
And you will.
It is.
Anything is better than this. And that's really what I
Really.
came to the reality of. Anything is better than this.
And you'll learn to appreciate your alone time too, because
I love my alone time.
you know,
I do.
yeah,
I love it. I love canceling plans. I love being able to. I do. I totally do. It's terrible, but it's not healthy.
Yeah.
And I can't continue to do that. So that's the next cycle that I have to break out of. And I'm trying. I'm working on it. I'm better than I was, but I'm certainly not what I was before I met this monster.
No, you have to find yourself again. Yeah. You're never going to be the same, but you'll find a newer version of yourself who has some scars.
There's Van Lufa in the chat. She knows. Van Lufa knows. Yes. She knows that I struggle.
If this person in the chat, Tink, is that it? If she needs somebody to reach out to, she could go on my About Me page and email me.
Okay, Tink, did you hear that? Go Makeup Mobster, type in the chat so that people can sub to you if they need to.
I have the link.
Oh, okay, sorry. Talk to her, reach out to her, email her.
If you need a girlfriend to talk to that doesn't know you, because sometimes talking to your friends, you know, and talking to somebody who doesn't know you is a little bit different.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. You have to go back to the things you loved before you met this person. They took it away.
Right.
Yeah.
I did. I went back to childhood and we know what time it is. Yeah, and I started doing little tiny things. I started buying myself like earrings again and wearing earrings again.
Right.
Because I wasn't even allowed to do my hair.
Wow.
I wasn't allowed to have hairspray. So I also moved 2 hours away.
Wow.
And stopped answering the phone and started walking and getting all the things I enjoyed little by little.
Right.
But I gotta say that all went to pot 2 years ago when I took him to court, because, you know, taking the person to court puts you right back at the beginning.
Yeah, and that's draining in and of itself.
Yeah.
The whole
I had a complete
process.
physical burnout when I got here, so I'm only 2 years recovering from it physically. My body stopped working.
And stress will do a number on your body. I mean, I just learned that in the last few years of my life, that, you know, I feel like I aged 10 years in the last 2 years. You know, it just takes a toll on you. So I can only imagine. And these people, when they fight, and they fight dirty. You know, they don't fight like a normal person. They don't care. You know, when they're out for blood, they're not normal.
Yeah, they won't stop.
The goal is to hurt you. That's why the goal is to hurt you, and they'll do whatever they can. They, you know, in all of the love bombing, they learn all your weaknesses because you're open with them, and you become vulnerable with them and share all your, you know. Of course, I'm going to share my deepest, darkest secrets and painful things with my soulmate. Of course, I am. Right.
Right.
So he learned.
And they use it against you.
Yes, that I have a tremendous fear of abandonment and all of these issues, you know, whatever, and he played immediately on all of those.
Yep, they will.
And they will outwardly lie to you about you. Like, my father died. This was never an issue, and all of a sudden, when my father died, because my ex-husband has a bad relationship with our son, now I magically had a bad relationship with my father.
Oh my God!
And he kept that storyline going to my face as if to convince me this was real.
That's gaslighting.
He even tried to do that in court, and I'm like, so they don't stop. They won't stop. Whatever. I always look over my shoulder because I still have to deal with him sometimes,
right?
By choice or not, depending how much contact we want. I'm always waiting for the next shoe to drop, when he's gonna do it again, humiliate me, and go after me again, because he stopped because, you know, he's collecting his strategy.
Wow.
When is he gonna come and say, no, you're the one? Because he's done that even while he was married.
Wow.
So you always have it in the back of your head because you know they just can't leave. They won't.
No, because they need that. They always put, people on the back burner, and they
Yeah.
might go out and they'll find new supply and they'll find new people. And then they need to have that one person on the
Thank
back
you,
burner.
Nanny Love. Thanks
Once they,
everyone for sharing your stories. This has been a great chat. Thank you so much. Thank you. I think it has been a great chat. I do. I agree.
You know why? Because this is so common, Diane. It's scary. And the more I've talked to people about it in the last, couple of years of my life, the more common I realize it is. So many people are unaware. Everybody heard the term narcissist, but you think of it as somebody who's in love with themselves. But there's really a disorder. There's a line
Oh,
where
yeah.
because
And they don't love themselves. They don't truly love themselves.
No,
They
they're
hate
very
themselves.
insecure. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And
you can see it when they're
across,
talking to you.
yeah. You run across these people in all different facets of your life, whether it's work or, wherever. Family, like you guys said before, and it's scary, but I feel like people don't know. If you don't know what it is, you might sit there and deal with it, and stay in an abusive relationship. So like part of me even just doing my videos is just like spreading awareness about this, especially because women are never looked at as narcissists. It's always a man. You always think a man is a narcissist in your head, but there is also female narcissists. I mean, I think we all know that now,
Lots
but
of them. Lots of them.
tons, and they're usually more covert, so they're harder to spot. And that's when they say covert narcissist, it's just like somebody who's better at hiding it.
Yeah.
They're not outwardly abusive, so they're not going to be like, oh, you can't do this. But the consequence is going to be, if you do that, there's going to be consequences to suffer. So that's how they control people. But women could be, just as bad, if not worse than men. Male narcissists.
One thing that I can't imagine is having a narcissistic mother.
Me neither.
When you look at when you depend on your mother and your father to be your protectors,
Right.
the ones that love you, to have a narcissistic parent must be hell.
It has to be.
Is.
I
That's
can't.
my son.
I can't imagine. Yes. I can't imagine, because my mother and me. My mother was like, oh my gosh, she was an angel, like, So it's like, I know a lot of women who have mothers like that, and I just like I can't relate with them. I find it so hard to relate with them.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Yep, I agree with that too. I can't even imagine. When my friend told me that her mother died and she didn't go to her funeral because she said, my mother made my life a living hell. I couldn't even comprehend that.
My sister didn't go to her mother's funeral. I don't know if you saw I typed that in the chat before, but my sister's mother passed away. We had, same father, different mothers, and her mother passed away, and she didn't even go to the funeral. And she was like, she's like so disturbed by the thought of her mother, And
Yeah, well, that's
I mean,
how my friend was.
Yeah, and I'm like, I can't even imagine that, like hating your mother so much that you wouldn't even go to her funeral. Like, that's crazy.
Well, I'm sure she didn't want to hate her mother, but her mother made her life a living hell. So I didn't know that when I knew her, like when we were in high school. I didn't know that. I mean, I never even heard the word narcissist. It wasn't until much later. I don't even think she knew.
Probably not.
When it was happening. She probably didn't know until she was an adult and found out what a narcissist was. She only knew that she was being in some way abused, emotionally by her mother.
Right. Yeah, and you don't know, because my sister, I mean, she was severely neglected, and of course, my dad had no way of knowing this because she used to hide it from him. But the mother would leave her home, she would have to fend for it. I mean, she's got a whole, she's got her own issues now because of that. She's got issues on top of issues, but they're conditioned to hide it and lie, so they don't realize it. And you think things are normal. Just like I grew up thinking that, I thought everybody's dad was, drink beer every night, like, because in my household that was normal. My dad was an alcoholic, and then I grew up and as I started to notice, oh wow, wait, this is this doesn't happen all the time. How come your dad's not drinking beer? Like, people are looking at me like I'm crazy, and I'm like,
Right.
oh, all right. I thought that's just what men did, but you
Right.
start to like realize it as you get older.
So Sasquatch, you had a narcissistic mother. You didn't go to your mother's funeral at all, and in fact, she only had 3 people there. Wow. I'm sorry. I'm sorry that
Yeah,
you had
that's sad.
to go through that with your mother. And Evelyn pointed this out, and I think we did talk about this earlier before Evelyn came in. It is important to know that characteristics of narcissism can be seen in many disorders, in borderline personality disorder and antisocial personality disorder as well. Yeah, we talked about that.
Yes.
Yeah, we did talk about that when you went over a whole list of different, traits of a narcissist. What is that thing called again, Wendy?
The DSM.
The DSM.
DSM. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, and we put the link in the chat. I can put it in again.
Yeah, that's like a diagnostic manual for like psychiatrists. It has like every disorder
Let me ask
whatever
you
in
a
there,
question.
but that's what.
Let me ask a question about if a narcissist, are their brains wired differently than a person that's not narcissistic? Like, in other words, if they were to do a brain scan, would anything
No.
appear on their brain different than a normal person?
No.
No?
From what
so.
I've read, no. That the only ones that that would actually show different brain scans would be a psychopath, like a real psychopath, because they say like sociopaths are made and psychopaths are born. So if you're born a psychopath, like if you're a psychopath, you were born that way. It's not. Some of them is nature versus it's a nature versus nurture thing. So like narcissists, they say are nurtured into narcissism. So you may not necessarily be born that way, but it might be something that you develop over time and grow into. I've done a lot of reading, if you can't tell.
No, it's good though. I mean, that's why we need to
fascinating.
educate, because it's confusing. Like Sandra's asking.
Thank you, Tan Girl. Thank you.
So Sandra's asking, which diagnosis is the worst? My ex was diagnosed with antisocial personality disorder. Like, I don't know. I mean, how could I know what is the worst? I mean, I guess maybe I would think they're all bad. Like, they're all dangerous. Run, get away from them. Like, they're all bad.
I would think. I mean,
I don't know how you qualify what's worse. I mean, psychopath, I guess, they're all bad. It's awful.
And and they say that like all psychopaths are narcissistic, but not all narcissists are psychopathic or whatever it is. So I would say if you're diagnosed with a sociopath or psychopath, I would say that would have to be the top. But there could be, narcissistic sociopaths. I mean, they call them narcopaths.
Michelle saying toxic is toxic. I mean, really what it comes down to for me at this point is I can't care about him. I can't care about what he's diagnosed as. I can't care about who else he might hurt.
Right.
I have to care about me because I'm going to die. Like, that's really what it came to for me. I'm going to die. I'm going to lose my life because of this. I really am. And I just, to me, I had to choose me. And he's going to have to, I don't know. Look.
The label doesn't matter, it really doesn't at the end
it really
of the day.
doesn't.
If the person's being
the behavior that you want to get away from
towards you, then you need to come up with a safe plan, get a support system and get yourself out of the situation safely, because these are the type of guys, these are the Scott Petersons and the those type of people. They're all sociopaths, and you could end up in a potentially dangerous situation if you try to leave them. So, even ones that have never exhibited signs of any type of violence before, that doesn't mean that they don't have the potential to be violent, especially if they've been diagnosed as a sociopath. That's scary. They have the potential.
K-Mello, all children they start out as, egocentric. I don't know that that's narcissistic.
Right.
They're egocentric.
No, it's narcissistic.
I mean, but it's not a disorder. It's developmentally appropriate because they're children.
Exactly.
They grow out of that.
Right. Take care of them.
Right. So as they learn empathy and stuff as they grow, then they become less egocentric and they learn about, caring for others and being empathetic toward others. And so that is, that's normal. That's normal development. That's nothing to be worried about. If you see that your child is egocentric,
Yeah.
Please
They're
remember
all
that.
manipulative.
Right. Please remember that's developmentally appropriate for children. They are supposed to
Right.
be, because they're dependent on you, and they're only caring about their own concerns and their own needs.
Right.
That's normal. That's normal for children. That's not a personality disorder at the time. And I'm not saying that you're saying that, Sandra. I'm just pointing that out because it does happen.
Yeah.
That is normal. They
Right.
grow out of that. Exactly. They grow out of that as they learn empathy.
They grow out of it, right. That's something I read about too, that they said that, all children are manipulative and narcissistic. And I believe it starts around the age of 2 when they, start
It starts the minute
realizing
they're
that
born. As soon as they cry
Right.
because they're
Yeah.
hungry. They cry because they're cold.
Right.
They cry because, they're
Right.
crying. They
Because
only
they're-
care
And then
about
they test the boundaries. They
They
need
don't
those
care
boundary
that
pushing to see where they can go and can't go. Like
right.
it's normal.
They don't care that you're tired. They don't care that you haven't slept in 4 days and had a shower in a week. They don't care.
Right.
They want to be fed. And so that's normal.
And they're not going to remember anything either.
Right. Right.
And the
As
narcissist
they
is-
get older, they grow out of that, of course. And that's why it's
Right.
important to teach your kids empathy, teach your kids to
Feel
care
bad
for
for
animals
others.
and
Yep.
care for their siblings and their family members, and care for other people, and be aware of other people's feelings and things like that. Teach your kids that, because it's very important that they develop empathy.
Yeah. 100%. When my son's teacher told me last year,
Yes, Camelo. Yes, Camelo. Good girl.
What'd she say?
When someone
I can't
asked
see
me
the
a
chat.
question,
That's why I said
if I can
tendencies.
answer it.
She goes, that's why I said tendencies. I have a degree in early childhood development. So here I am preaching to the choir. She already knows what I'm saying then. So I'm Camelo. I'm sitting here thinking, oh my God, if I'm going to leave this panel thinking that I've convinced everybody that their children are little narcissists.
No. That's a really good thing to
They all have a
though.
personality disorder. Run, no contact. That's it.
Gray rock them. Gray rock. I wish I could gray rock my son.
Tonight. No more.
Well, listen, you have to teach your child. The first time you have to tell your little kid no, that means that you're starting to have to, they're going to do whatever they want. When I think about stories that my mother told me about me,
Right.
when she would say, pick up the toys, and I would stand there with my hands on my hips and say no. So, my mother had to teach me that you can't say no. You can't say no to me. Otherwise, if you don't teach your kids, they're just going to be crazy and wild and do crazy things.
You have to discipline them. It's
exactly.
You do.
Exactly.
Yes.
So from the moment they know what they're doing, they are kind of manipulating you, right?
They are. That's what they say. Children are very.
They care about their own needs. So whatever they can do, if crying gets their needs met, then they're going to cry because they want their needs met, right? So yes, of course it is, but it's up to us to teach them not that doesn't work.
Right.
You crying, having a temper tantrum isn't going to make me give you a piece of chocolate. Sorry, it's not.
Right.
So go have your temper tantrum over there and come back when you're done. Like that's that we did that in my house. I'm not saying I'm the best parent that's ever walked the earth. Clearly, I've made mistakes, obviously. But my kids didn't do temper tantrums because they never flew in my house ever.
Yeah, mine either.
Tantrum, I walked away. Goodbye. I'm not going to watch this. If you want to do that, I'm leaving. And then when you're ready to talk to me, because I don't understand your crying words, when you're ready to talk to me, I'm over here. And that's exactly what happened.
That's
my son. I did that with him, and he used to start regulating himself when he was losing control. He went to his room, came out when he was finished.
That's right. Everybody gets mad. It's okay to be mad. Go ahead and be mad. That's fine, but you're not going to yell and scream at me.
Right.
Yeah. Someone asked me how my son was affected by this.
That's an interesting question.
Well, this has been really hard for him because he's not just dealing with. He is a narcissistic father, but he's autistic, and he's had a father that's denied his diagnosis right from the first one at 5 years old.
Oh my
God. But he has a lot of abandonment issues because when my husband left us when he was 2, that's also the same time he developmentally changed.
Mm-hmm.
And so he has serious abandonment issues. He does not trust men.
Wow.
He's a very wonderful, lovely boy. He loves animals, but he won't let men get close to him. And he, I don't know how to say, he's very much affected by it. But he also had this personal strength where he went to the court and said, no more. I'm moving with my mom to Canada. I want nothing to do with my father. And
How
he
old
was
is
able,
he?
even, he just turned 16, and this started
Oh,
when he was
okay.
11. When he was
Wow.
11, his dad started the manipulation on him that you have to come see me because my court order says I get you on my visitation. Oh, but I'm
Right.
not going to be there when you visit me. I mean,
What?
he would be put on the bus to go see his dad because it's a little different where we were. His dad wouldn't feed him. His dad would not pick him up.
Oh, brother.
Wow.
Oh, God.
He wouldn't make contact, and then he'd call him screaming, "Why aren't you on the bus?" Well, I didn't hear from you all week. You have to come. You have to come. So he had to endure quite a lot.
Oh,
But
wow.
we worked through that.
Right.
He's happier now than he was when we got here. He's very angry
Right.
because his dad never stopped.
Wow.
Your mom's done this and your mom's making
I
you
was
think
just
that.
gonna
Your mom's
ask
thinking that.
you that. Does
Oh,
with narcissistic parents, especially in that situation where they'll try to, you know, they and I know my aunt does this to my cousin, and I don't know
he
if my
wants
aunt's
to manipulate
narcissistic.
memories. Yeah, the
Yeah,
narcissist.
they
He's
like
manipulating the child memories.
they talk
But that's
badly about the
gaslighting,
other
right? Isn't that
parent.
gaslighting? Isn't that
Yes,
called
but it doesn't.
do
Yeah,
that?
and it doesn't work always because my child knows.
Right.
My child knows the only parent who has ever taken care of him his entire life was me.
Is you. Right.
Yes, he knows that. He saw it for
He
himself. He would go there, and they would take his clothes off him and put him in different clothes and say, "Your clothes are dirty."
Oh my
He's like,
God.
"But what are you talking about? My clothes are clean. My mom washed them. I see them going in and out of the laundry hanging." He knows he's taken care of, but they would try and let him know he wasn't.
That's extremely disturbing, especially in your son's
Isn't it?
situation where he's developmentally, you know,
Delayed. Yeah.
delayed, and they're taking advantage of that, and that just goes to
Yeah.
show how sick a narcissist really is that they will see a person in a situation like that and take advantage of it. That's disgusting.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's horrible. I'm sorry you got to go through that. That's disgusting.
Yeah. Yep, but he lost big time, and it's his fault that this is the way it is for him. He could have
Right.
had it different. He chose
Right.
this. He chose to abuse his son emotionally, and he's chosen to. I mean, we had to go through things like he got married in order to present a normal life to
Right.
the outside world, and having
Wow.
kids, so not to pay child support. And even those social workers were shocked by the fact that these words come out of his mouth. Like, I don't care how many kids you have. Your son's firstborn. He's important. I don't care how many kids you have.
Right.
I don't care what your wife's income is. You're married. It's all one now. Y'all have to pay up.
Right.
So he didn't go to work, so he didn't have to pay. And in that country, he
Oh.
could get away with it. This is a man who
Wow.
would not clothe his child, feed his child, but took credit for anything good this child did. Except have autism. That was something we couldn't talk about.
Here's my question too, for maybe Wendy can answer this too. I don't know if your children are what age they are, but what is like how do you explain to a child, or do you even explain to a child that their parent is a narcissist? Like do you ever bring that word? Because that's like I wonder about my brother's daughter sometimes, and I'm like, one day this kid might come to a realization that there's something wrong with her mother, but as a parent, like, how do you even explain that to your dad? I mean, to your kid about their other parent,
I never used that word.
Well,
Right.
Wendy's relationship with a narcissist was not her husband.
Yeah.
Right. No, I know that. I
Oh, okay.
figured that.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I'm saying I don't know how old her kids were when this whole thing was going on. So, like, if they were young at the time and, they had to know this man be part of your life, like, how did you explain to them if you break up with him? Or did your kids have any opinion about him after you broke up with him? I mean, did they pick up on anything?
I think you have to be really careful when you start doing that because then it
Right.
cross the line into parental alienation. It could cross the line into that the kids turning it or the other partner turning it into you're trying to turn the kids against me type of thing. I
Right.
focus on
Right.
behaviors, don't focus on labels. Focus on behaviors and try to keep the relationship as healthy as you can. That would be my recommendation. If I had to co-parent with this man, that's what I would do. I would have to do that because I would focus on, just trying to stay as positive as I could. And at some point they will see it. They will see what you saw. Keep them as safe as you can, and make sure that you're a soft place to land when they are inevitably disappointed, because they will be.
They will be. Great.
I never used that. I never called his dad that.
Right.
Yeah.
I've never told him. I said he loves you. He just doesn't know how to show you.
Right.
He doesn't know how to take care of what's best because he's not sure what to do.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because I can imagine how hard that is to explain to a child, and especially if you have a young child. I would imagine, like, even my son. How would I explain that to him? I had trouble explaining my mom passing away. I can't even imagine having to explain that their parent is neglecting them or whatever the case is, using them, or that's, oh my God, it's just so hard.
I think some of those conversations have to wait till they're age appropriate.
They do, because because then you're planting seeds there that it's going to backfire on you at some stage. It will, because it'll look like you are the one trying to turn them against the other parent, and you don't.
Well,
I
saw my aunt doing it. She does it constantly to my cousin. When we were on speaking terms still. One of my aunts. I mean, she just says these things about the father, and he's a great guy. He has his issues, and who doesn't though? It's like, join the club. But he's there for his daughter. He takes care of his daughter, and she's like jealous of that. She's jealous of the love that my cousin has towards him, and I find it so weird. Because she's like, oh well, he didn't do this and he didn't do that and he didn't pay child support, and I'm like, why do you have to do that? Like, I don't understand that. Why do you have to do that? Just, you should be happy that your daughter has a loving relationship with her father, and that she gets along with him so great. It's like, I don't understand that. So I was just wondering how you would explain that if you're in that situation, because seeing somebody do that is just terrible. It's horrible. But that's a narcissist for you.
Yeah, there's not much good out of it, sadly.
No. Yeah, there's like no redeeming qualities about these people.
There really is. The beginning was fun. I'm not going to lie. The beginning is fun.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly. The beginning. But then, like, once the mask slips and you see the person for who they are, and I know this happened to me in my relationship, it's very hard to unsee that,
Right.
It's like, you start seeing these very negative things, and at first you make excuses for him. You're like, oh, he had a bad day today.
Right.
He had a rough
He's
day. Yeah.
He's just hungry. That was mine.
Right, exactly. He's hangry.
He's hangry. Yes.
And I always used to make excuses because I knew, my ex, he had a rough upbringing. His mom was like married multiple times. He had all different men in and out of her life. Some of them were abusive. His father wasn't in his life because his mom had him when she was like 16. So it's like, I always blamed those things. That's what I always used to make excuses for him all the time. Oh, it's because he had a rough life and it's this. But the reality is, no, it's because you're just an abusive asshole. That's what it comes down to.
My son had some. Sorry.
No,
I was going to say my son has some behavior issues that he had to work through because of thinking he was going to be like his father. And I said,
well,
no.
That's what I was just going to say. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I said, no, you are you. You're half of him and half of me, and you get to choose the good part to take and then be yourself.
Right.
Now, that's hard when the kid's only 10 and you're having to have that kind of discussion.
Yeah,
like,
I can imagine.
It's because my father, I'm just like my father. My father's like this. I'm like, nope, you're responsible. Don't worry about his bad behavior.
Right.
You get to choose.
Right.
You have that power.
Yeah. Wow. He's lucky to have you. Because to put it in those terms, I don't think I'd be able to explain it that way. My ex, he used to acknowledge, this is what like used to blow my mind. He used to acknowledge like the abuse that he witnessed, but then perpetuate the same thing. So I'm like, how do you recognize abuse but then do it to somebody else?
It's like stuck in a pattern. They're just stuck in a pattern. It's like the phoning me and yelling at me and me yelling back was such a normal part of a conversation until I stopped it.
Right.
And I just ignored it, and finally I was free. But if you don't stop it, you're just going to carry it on over.
Yeah, you'll just continue.
Yeah.
You know what
Cause
I would like to do? What I would like to do is maybe have another panel and have people up, because obviously there are a lot of people that were in our chat tonight that have dealt with
Yeah.
narcissism. Maybe we can do another panel and have people up who have already been through the healing process after
Yeah.
they've been able to get away from a narcissist, so that and actually heal from it, to help people who are still not at that point.
Right.
Mhm.
And
Maybe we
Diane,
can do that.
I know of a couple of like people that I've followed on YouTube that
Uh-huh.
have helped like me. You know, there's a lot of great. So and a lot of them are life coaches, and that's why like to me I see these people and what they do and their life coaching. To me, they're life coaches. You know what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
They dedicate every single video to this and talking about narcissism. And I could give you some of the people that I follow. Maybe we'll put them in like the comments below after the video, because
Sure.
they do a lot of help, you know, dealing with like the recovery part, because that's really the hard part. You know, it's leaving's hard, and then the recovery is really hard, because you have like a whole years of rebuilding yourself and trying to figure out who you are, and then also kind of being angry at yourself because you're like, how could I let this happen?
Mhm.
I'm like, my family, kids around me, and they call me a gangsta bitch, you know. And when I look back, I'm like, oh, here's the Leanna, the gangsta bitch. That's why my name's Make a Mobster, part of it. But like, because I'm tough, like they know me as a tough person who stands up for herself all the time. And I'm like, how did I go through that? You know, how did I get myself in a situation where somebody was controlling me to the point where like
Yeah.
I couldn't listen to certain music,
Same.
I couldn't
Same.
wear certain
My
things.
parents didn't recognize me. My
Yeah,
parents would tell me that
yeah,
they didn't. They didn't even recognize me anymore
yeah.
because I was
Mhm.
such an independent, strong person, and
Right.
I became someone totally different. But listen,
That's
ladies,
how.
I actually have to jump off because I'm actually having some pain, so I need to rest.
Ooh.
But I wanted to thank you guys for letting me be up here with you guys, and we'll talk more about this. I mean, keep going. I'll keep listening.
Yeah,
But
no, I'm going to
I
end
need
it
to
because
rest.
we're already over 2 hours. We're,
Okay.
Right.
2 hours.
Sorry,
So
I've been hanging on for like the last 45 minutes, but I think I need to be done. I need to step down now. But
Your physical health is
yeah.
more important.
But this was such an awesome panel, and I'm so glad that we did this. And Simple Eyes, thank you for coming up at the last minute and saving the day.
thank you
You're
so
welcome. I
much.
don't know.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I
And
really
thank-
appreciate you guys, both of you. Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
And thank you, Leanna.
Thank
But I
you.
do want to do that. If you can get me in touch with some of these women that you're talking about, I would
Yeah,
love
they're
to do a panel where we can, get to that, get to the healing process and what they recommend to do and how they can advise people who are not there yet. I would love to do that.
yeah, there's several channels on here. I mean, I don't know if they would come up on panel because some of them are like huge channels. I don't know, you know, but they're definitely, even if they don't come on this panel, their channels are definitely worth checking out. And I also know a couple of websites that might help people too.
All
So
right. Well, maybe I'm pretty good at getting people.
yeah, you are,
people.
Diane. You're better than me. I'm not a good salesman.
I don't have a problem.
Diane will have this person like doing the cha-cha.
Yeah, I don't have a problem asking people to
All right.
do me favors or come up.
All right, guys, I'm going to jump off, okay? I love you
I'll
guys.
see you. I love you.
Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
Wendy. Feel better.
Bye.
Feel
Thank you,
better.
guys. Bye, everybody in the chat. Love you.
Bye.
Thank you so much, everybody.
Bye, Wendy.
Bye, guys.
So I want to thank everybody in the chat for hanging out as long as you did. I did see some new names in here that I've never seen before. If you're not sub, please make sure to sub, because we'll do more panels like this, and we do other topics. Not just all about drama. We have Ladies' Night on Thursday,
Yep.
and we're going to have Mean Girls hopefully next week.
That should be interesting.
Yeah, it should be very interesting. I'm really curious to hear about how this all came to be with these women, and how they ended up not getting any money out of the movie and the book.
Right. And if anybody needs a friend to talk to, or they just need somebody to reach out to, I always tell everybody they can reach out to me. I mean, I'm not like a therapist or anything, but I can be an ear to listen or whatever. If you just feel like you don't want to talk to family, because I know in those kind of situations, you're scared to talk to your family, because as soon as you tell your family about these, your abuse or whatever you're going through, you feel like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? If you go back to the person, and
Yes.
part of recovery is relapsing sometimes. And so if you need a unbiased person to talk to, whether it's me or another person on here, just reach out.
Yes, Ash, I did address that in the very beginning of the stream. It was addressed.
Why?
So, anyway, again, thank you everyone for coming. Don't forget to come Thursday night at 8 o'clock for ladies' night. And, I post what we're going to do typically on Twitter and also on my community page. And this was a really good panel. I really
It
learned
really
a lot.
was.
And I really thank God. I have to thank God that I've never had a narcissist in my life, because I don't know, I'm a pretty strong person. I'd like to think that I'm a really strong person, but I would have to think that, it
A narc will break you.
doesn't really matter. In
No, it doesn't.
yeah.
I just wanted to say too one more thing. Just Wendy did such a great job. I was listening the whole time, even when I
yes,
wasn't up
she
here.
did.
And I apologize. My son, you know how I am. My son comes first always.
I
But
know.
yeah, she did such a great job. And it's just like, I've heard in the last couple of weeks people saying shit about Wendy, and it's just like, why don't you listen to her? Because she's so intelligent, and
She is, and I think that intimidates people.
It does. And I don't have my mom around, and you guys are like my family in a sense too. It's like I talk to you guys and I listen to you guys, and you're older women who I could look up to with sense, so it's
Thank you.
hearing all those things. It's just disturbing to me, because I think
I
Wendy,
know.
if you're
I
not
know.
you just listen to her, and try to understand. She's very intelligent and has a lot to offer. So
Wendy gets a really bad rap, and I think
don't know why.
based on her. It is based on how intelligent she is.
It is.
And that's on the other people though.
Right. Exactly.
It's
their insecurity. That's really what it comes down to.
Yeah. And Wendy's also a good person, and that's the other people don't know about Wendy. Just get to know Wendy. I've known her for a long time. She's one of the best people that I've met here on YouTube.
Right.
So, again, it boils down to people do get intimidated by intelligent women, whether they're a woman or a man. I mean, it is what it is. So,
right.
Wendy is a good person. So,
she is.
Can look past. Look, she's admitted herself that she can be condescending a little. Sometimes.
All right.
And that's it is what it is. But she's not always condescending. Her speech pattern, I think, comes off condescending, but she's not.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, I mean, if you listen tonight, and even just listening tonight and hearing her story helps me understand her just a little bit more, because I'm like, when you go through something like that, and people, somebody's got that power over you and control over you. When you get your power back in your life, you're going to use it. So, take that into consideration, because I see she's a very tough chick. She's not. She's not going to fold. So, that helps me even just understand her better as a person.
I've known this. I've known this about Wendy. I mean, I've known that she's been in this, in this situation, because we're friends. I didn't know that, she was ever going to tell the story, but this topic came up, and she was brave enough to share it, as was Jody and you in your series that you do. So it's women empowering other women. That's the way I see it.
Exactly.
And we got to talk about it, because if we don't talk about it, we can't help each other.
Right.
Exactly.
I agree.
Wendy has a good, strong sense of self that intimidates other people who don't have that yet, because she knows who she is and what she is, and that's who she is. You can't change her or mold her to the way you want.
Right.
Like it should be. You should be a strong, independent person.
Right.
Yeah, and she, that's who Wendy is. That's her. There is no fakeness to her. There's no mask put on. That is Wendy offline and online. That's who she is. She's very straightforward.
You gotta appreciate that. Yeah, I appreciate people like that, because I'm like that myself. But I don't. it might come off in a different way, but she, you know, it's I appreciate that about people because they're real. You know, you don't want some fake person and to talk. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
She's not fake. She's not a phony. You don't have to worry about her bullshitting you. She's gonna tell you the truth, and I appreciate that about people.
Yep, I do too.
So
I do too.
well, anyway,
listen, all
thank
you
you,
ladies are
Diane.
wonderful that are up on panel right now. So, you know, I have a lot of respect for all of you. And I thank you everyone in the chat for sharing what you shared. And, you know, even though you didn't get to tell your actual story, you know, a lot of you said you were in narcissistic relationships, whether it be mothers, husbands, lovers, whatever. So I think, like I said, I'll try to get something together for the healing part, and see if we can get certain people to where they need to be.
Right.
I'll work on that. All right.
All right. Thank you, Diane.
All right.
I
So
appreciate
thank
it.
you, everyone,
Yep.
again. Thank you for the
I'm-
super chat. Thank you to the new people that came in. I noticed some new people subscribed. Thank you. And we'll see you on Thursday night at 8 o'clock for Ladies' Night. Everyone have a good night, and
Bye.
we'll see you there. Bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
How do you end?